welcome to all of you present over here. And please give a huge round of applause for yourself. You all are here. Can we have huge round of applause, everyone? Now I would request Shri Jai Kumar Nair, SEAM National President, Shri G. Krishna Kumar, General Secretary SEAM, Shri Vinuta Gopal Asar, Climate Leader, Shri Anurag Bajpai, Joint Secretary SEAM, to please come over to the stage. Please welcome them with a huge round of applause. All of you, everyone.
To welcome the august audience, may I now request Shri G. Krishna Kumar, General Secretary SEAM, to deliver the welcome address. Please welcome him with the huge round of applause of the podium.
Good morning. My president of this meeting, President Mr. R. J. Kumar, our distinguished guest, Vinuta Gopal Asar, all distinguished guests, awardees, winners, a warm good morning again. I welcome you all to the India Energy Conclave 2023, and it is a privilege for me to stand before you today when we embark on a journey into the exciting world of emerging technologies and trends that have the potential to shape the future of our industries, economies, and the society as a whole. Technologies help us to realize the recent inspiring slogan which G20 gave us: planet, people, peace, and prosperity. In this rapidly evolving landscape, we need to stay abreast of emerging technologies, and it is paramount for engineers. So, as engineers, you will understand that the importance of innovation, adaptation, and staying ahead of the curve. Today we gather here not to just share the knowledge, but to inspire and empower one another to embrace these exponential technologies and their implications. Before we delve into the exciting agenda, let's take a moment to reflect on the significance of staying informed and the role of the Society of Energy Engineers and Managers. Society of Energy Engineers and Managers, SEAM for short, was founded with a vision to help professionals across sectors and industries to anticipate the exponential technologies, interpret their implications, and champion the industry shaping and society serving applications. One of the ways SEAM accomplishes this is bringing thumbnail sketches of the emerging technologies by experts. These thumbnails serve as a catalyst for analysis, and to deliberate about these technologies can influence our industries and society. New technologies, as we all know, have the power to disrupt industries, grow economies, improve lives, safeguard the planet. However, it is crucial that we design, scale up, deploy these technologies responsibly. So let's take a quick glimpse of some of these new trends that will be discussed. May not be in this conclave, but we promise that we can bring these technologies in detail at the appropriate occasions. We will be through various other campaigns. As we navigate these new frontiers, I encourage each one of you to actively engage in the discussions and take away actionable insights. The knowledge we shared today will empower us to drive positive change in our industries, societies, and foster innovation and contribute to a more sustainable and prosperous future. I would like to express my gratitude on behalf of SEAM and extend a for coming over and extend a warm welcome to all speakers, organizers, the awardees, winners, and all those attendees here who have made the start of this energy conclave possible. Together, we can harness the potential of emerging technologies and trends to shape a better tomorrow. So let us embark on this exciting journey of discovery and collaboration. Thank you, and once again, welcome you all to India Energy Conclave 2023. Thank you.
Moving ahead, everyone. May I now request Shri Jai Kumar, SEAM National President, to deliver the presidential address.
Honorable General Secretary G. Krishna Kumar, Ms. Vinuta Gopal, my dear friends from Energy Management Fraternity, very good morning to all of you. So this is a very auspicious day for us when we are starting our sessions with the India Energy Conclave, followed by our national awards. And all of you may be eagerly waiting for the second session, especially when we are celebrating the success of most of the industries and facilities in India. When it comes to Society of Energy Engineers and Managers, since inception, we were following a lot of things, mostly for focusing knowledge dissemination. So knowledge is an integral part of everyone's progress, especially when we are in the engineering stream. So when we do the energy conservation activities, maybe start from the beginning or since the inception of a Bureau of Energy Efficiency, and then it came to the energy manager examinations and all. So from energy manager examination, 2005 only SEAM has formed. And our major activity was ensuring continual improvement in knowledge dissemination. So what we have, every year we used to conduct lots of sessions across India, and we will be calling industry expert, we will be connecting with industrial associations. So knowledge dissemination is an integral part of any energy professional's life. So you all are doing a lot of activities in your industry or facility, and our job is to provide you informations, the updates, what all the things are being happening across India, in India and abroad, and how it can be utilized for empowering more and more employees or the citizens of India. So knowledge is very much essential, and not only it should not be kept with you. So we need to share this, we need to educate, we need to empower people working along with you to save more and more energy. So our focus in today's sessions also, we have lined up lots of programs, lots of updated informations will be available here. So it is all, it's all how we will be conceiving all these things, how we will be using it for our future journey. And when it comes to the decarbonization requirement, the sustainability improvements, and all of us needs to move together. We have lots of association members are here, and everybody wanted to get aligned with our specific requirements, as our country is having clear net zero goals. And I'm also eagerly waiting along with you. The sessions, lot of sessions are lined up here. I'm not taking much of your time. With this, I formally announce that the conclave is open. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now may I request all the dignitaries to join the President to inaugurate India Energy Conclave by watering the plant. Now we request Ms. Vinuta Gopal to say a few words in felicitation. Please join us on the podium.
Good morning, and thank you so much to SEAM, the Society of Energy Engineers and Managers, for inviting me here today. I am not an engineer myself, I'm a chartered accountant, but I'm not even a chartered accountant currently. I've been working for the last 2 decades on climate and environment related issues. And the reason I feel extremely grateful to be here today is because of the really critical role that engineers are going to play in the future of our planet and all of our lives. In fact, very recently, I was at a conference on air pollution where the Secretary of Environment spoke, and he said, you know, the way in which we think in the bureaucracy, we are very strongly influenced by the way engineers think. So a number of our solutions come from a kind of thinking which is sort of, how can we solve a problem? And I think engineers are problem solvers. And we have a huge problem on our hands today, a problem that's going to be affecting all of humanity and our life on this planet. So I'm really, really proud in many ways to be here and be part of SEAM and be part of a community that is actively building our country and in the building of our country, building our country to be ready for the future. And the future now is very clear that while one part of it is a massive challenge that we face, but the other part of the future is how do we decarbonize? How do we move towards net zero? How do we build this country in a way that is sustainable and resilient? Because, you know, if one had said maybe even 6 years ago that what engineers would do in the country would affect farmers in terms of their rainfall, one would not see the connection. But today, when we're actually facing a massive drought, it is becoming apparent to us that that is very clearly connected with climate change. And a huge part of the solution to climate change comes from the way we use our energy, the way we generate our energy, how efficiently we use it, and the fact that we can build towards a circular economy. So the goals of SEAM are exemplary, and I really hope that this conference is a huge success. From ASAR, I'm very proud and very happy that we have a chance to collaborate together to work, I think, on one of humanity's greatest challenges. Thank you so much and all the very best.
Now I request Mr. Anurag Bajpai, Joint Secretary SEAM, to propose the vote of thanks. Please welcome him over here.
Thank you so much. It's a wonderful morning in Delhi. As usual, we have a lot of traffic here. Distinguished guest on dais, our President, Mr. Jai Kumar, Shri Kumar sir, Krishna Kumar sir, and ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. I think the word of wisdom that have been shared by all of you, they show us a path to move forward. As you have also shared your experience, ma'am, that Secretary sir has taken that instant, and then he has also given a sort of, let's say, a path to show us. I think that is where we are in. We all, architects, engineers, CA, financial sector experts, everyone is moving towards a newer road path. And that is where we feel that the economy, which is moving very, very fast pace, engineers have a role to play. As we have mentioned, SEAM also has a role to play here. This program where we are bestowing the efforts of a lot of technology providers, service providers, a lot of distinguished guests, people who have been working for almost their life of 30, 35 years, 40 years, in the field of energy, in the field of engineering, they also have to be recognized. And that is where the role of SEAM is not only in terms of identifying them, but also showing the path to the newer generation, all the chapters that we have, all the good work that SEAM as an organization has been doing in this area. I think the newer growth path for the SEAM is also to become the think tank, so that the overall generation can also look at SEAM as a newer organization, path-breaking organization, a lot of new things that the SEAM as an organization should make it as a offering for the generation to come, or the engineers who are here, who are learning in the colleges. They will be also getting a lot of feedback, lot of learnings from the SEAM as an organization. So that is where we are here as of now. We immensely thank to all the guests who have made to this morning, and we have this program throughout the day. We have our exhibition outside this room. We have our award function after 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. today. We'll have a wonderful today in terms of doing all the discussions, deliberations, a lot of new learnings from each other. And that is where we are here today in this conclave. And thank you so much, everyone. Once again, thank you all of you for being here.
Okay, so now it's time to move forward, and now I would like to request for the presentation Mr. Rohit Kumar, Secretary General, Carbon Markets Association of India. He will enlighten us on the topic carbon trading, a tool to net zero. Everybody, please give a huge round of applause, and let me welcome Mr. Rohit Kumar on stage. Rohit Kumar, with over 2 decades of experience, excels in India industry relations, policy development, and advocacy. He is the Secretary General of the Carbon Markets Association of India and VP of EKI Energy. He has a rich background in projects, developments, sustainability, and SDG implementation, along with notable recognition for various initiatives, including water education, environmental conversation, and cultural promotions. Everybody, please give a huge round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Please.
So great, thank you. So my presentation has 2 parts. So part 1, I will take 1 or 2 minutes for introduction of ourselves. And in part 2, we'll discuss about carbon market and various initiatives which Government of India is doing, and how India has a great opportunity in terms of getting carbon finance in coming years. So CMAI is a Section 8 company. We work closely with all the key ministries like MOFCC, MOP, MNRE, and BE also. So we are part of carbon policy stakeholders across sectors. Energy is one of the key area. And I'm also advisor to NITI Aayog for carbon capture technology and the green hydrogen technology recently. And we have done various MOUs with MNRE and also the World Energy Council recently. So when we talk about the carbon market, there's a huge carbon market stakeholders we have to keep in mind. Of course, SEAM has to play a very important role as a leading organization in terms of energy transition and energy efficiency. But apart from that, we have a large communities, government institutions, and financial institutions, think tank, regulatories, industries, MSMEs has to play a very critical role. So CMAI has purpose to collaborate with all the key stakeholders for a shared journey to achieve net zero goal and decarbonization of India. So we have a large presence with our team members in multiple countries. And the idea is that there are 3 kind of world in terms of carbon market will decide. One is the developed country. They are the largely buyer of carbon credit. We are a developing nation. And also Africa and Southeast Asian countries are least developed countries. So they are the carbon credit generator. So we have to create a good balance between all of them. So these are the key ministries we are working. So Ministry of Power has recognized us one of the key industry body which keeps the feedback, regular feedback on CCTS when it's going to launch in India. So we do the project identification and the GHG mitigation programs, knowledge sharing, global level, and also very important role as we discuss about technology in terms of Article 6.2, because India has accepted 13 technologies and inviting large number of technology to India, and bilateral, multilateral partnership is going to happen. So we are closely working with Japan, Korea, and Singapore right now in terms of technology integration and transfer. So carbon market, we talk about carbon market, there is a Paris Agreement. And in the Paris Agreement, there is Article 6. And in Article 6, there is Article 6.2, 6.4, and CCTS. Everywhere we do the complete stakeholder consultations and inputs. So we work with the Ministry of Environment with Life campaign right now and help them to reach out to 2 million households for clean cooking initiatives. So Ministry of Agriculture, we are stakeholder. NITI Aayog, we are working closely. So I'll just skip this slide. And these are Article 6.2. Bhutan, Nepal, we are working. and also we are working in Kenya, and these are the workshop programs we do every month. And across sectors, biofuel is a very important area we are focusing right now. Yeah. So these are about some of the eminent members for. So Embassy of Republic of Korea has also joined us recently for entering the India market. So now I will come to the carbon market part, which is really important, and I think where we can definitely collaborate with SEAM and a lot of technology, because if we do the energy efficiency, we can save 50% energy of the world right now, and we can really help to 50% reduce the GHG mitigations as per the recent global study. So everybody knows about the climate change. I will skip this slide. And the climate change, this is the Paris Agreement, that 1.5 degrees is a threshold we have decided. But we are not able to meet those commitment. And there's a big challenge that 2 degrees centigrade global warming will be happen. And 20 centimeter global ocean rise is can happen. So this is the big challenge, and everybody knows about those challenges. And so how the carbon credit can actually play a very important role for achieving net zero target. We know that there is we can say 7 greenhouse gases, and those greenhouse gases actually creating climate change. So if you reduce 1 ton of carbon dioxide from nature, we'll get 1 credit. And there are 2 kind of projects. One is that carbon reduction projects are there, and second is carbon reduction where energy, all the green energy and green process has to play a very important role. While in the carbon sequestrations, we have a project like carbon capture technology, and apart from that, forestry and also RED plus projects where the forest conservations are there. So all those projects are globally very active. India is going to come forward in terms of nature-based solutions. There is another project which is very important for mangroves plantations, because we have 70% coastal area. So government is also coming with a scheme called MISTI scheme, where public-private partnership is going to happen in this domain. So everybody knows about history of carbon offset market. We started our journey from 1992 at UNFCCC collaboration. Then 1997, Kyoto Protocol happened in Japan, where every world country has decided to work on decarbonization and achieving net zero goal. Then there is a Kyoto Protocol implementation happened in 2005. Then there is Paris Agreement in 2015, where Article 6 has come on the board. And 6.2, 6.4, 6.8, all those articles has been implemented. India has signed the treaty that India is going to achieve net zero by 2070. And also Government of India has placed national determined contribution by 2030, which we are going to present in every COP. So this COP is going to happen in the month of November, December at UAE. So there are 2 kinds of carbon markets primarily. One is that compliance-based carbon market, and second is voluntary carbon market. Compliance-based carbon market comes like a 6.2, 6.4, or an Indian carbon market comes under that. While voluntary carbon markets are like Global Carbon Council and Voluntary Carbon Standard and Gold Standard. And apart from that, there is an International Renewable Energy Certificate Program, which really help us to reduce the Scope 2 emission, because there are 3 kinds of emissions, Scope 1, 2, and 3. So this is the different steps. Like first we identify the projects. Is this project is viable to generate carbon credit or not? And after that, we do the project registry. And after registry, the third-party auditor recognized to that respective mechanism come on the board, and they do the audit of the project. What is the impact have happened on this project, and how this project is actually reducing the GHG mitigation in the planet. And after that, they generate the carbon credit, and those carbon credit we can trade. So that is a complete cycle. So we generally help them to do capacity building program and knowledge sharing for end-to-end cycle. So this is a very important slide I'd like to discuss that there are 5 kind of market in India in the carbon. So, and these are the opportunities for us because we have a lot of engineers and energy efficient companies are here right now. First is about Article 6.2. So in Article 6.2, there is a bilateral, multilateral collaborations is happening. India has already published the 13 technology sectors where green hydrogen, carbon capture technology, green ammonia, and offshore wind, tidal energies, all those technologies, we are inviting global players to join hand together. In return, they will invest in terms of technology. They do some activity in India, and they will collaborate with us industries. In return, the carbon credit they will take for offsetting their country emission. So that collaborations, I think, will be very active in coming years. And 13 technologies are really high in technology, which is going to help India in coming years. Second is Article 6.2. We all know that there is a clean development mechanism was earlier. And clean development mechanism is now going to be Article 6.4, and which is going to announce in this COP28. And third is that about the national carbon market, we have known that recently Ministry of Power in Bureau of Energy has launched national carbon market. But this market is completely focusing right now to meet India NDC and India's commitment to UNFCCC. So this is going to be very active in the month of December onwards, I guess. The government is going to announce what are the cap and trade policy. In a sector-wise emission reduction target is going to be fixed. There is a baseline we are also deducting. And after that, the fourth is really important about voluntary carbon market, which really give a lot of companies are really working in this area. And they do a lot of investment in voluntary carbon market to meet their ESG requirement, to meet their BSSR report, SEBI guideline, do some branding activity, and also generating revenue. So voluntary carbon market is a great opportunity for in terms of sustainable business, in terms of profitability. A lot of projects are there in the Indian continent and Africa, where the investors are making double the revenue in 5 years' time by clean cooking initiatives, by energy efficiency cook stoves. So all those initiatives are very active, and some companies have already set up a separate cell in the generating carbon credit and trading those credit in the polluters actually, which is doing larger emissions. This is already happening in New Zealand. I met some company which is doing a lot of forestations in New Zealand and selling those credit to polluters. And fourth, last one is the Green Credit Program, which Government of India has announced and yet to come in coming years. So this we know about climate change is going to be a big problem. CBAM is coming, cross-border adjustment mechanism, carbon tax are coming, government compliance are going very high in all the sectors. So carbon credit play very important tools to mitigate those emissions. I will just, so these are the emission sector, like energy is 73% emission is happening from energy sector right now. And I think where SEAM and energy sector has to play a very critical role to mitigate those emissions in India. And we are going towards completely transformation of energy from biofuel, green hydrogen from current energy source, which we have coal right now. So these are slides, so we do commitment. So we don't have time, so I will just, it's the last 1 or 2 slides I have. So what we can do, I can actually mitigate the climate risk by decarbonization roadmap. This service we are doing for enterprise. Climate risk and impact baseline, we do a study. Then we do net zero strategy development for the corporates so that they can achieve the net zero goal target. And then we do the organization transformation activities, suggesting for each and every vertical where mitigation can be reduced. Then we go for carbon reporting and mitigating the ESG requirement of the corporates. So this is the same slide. So this is the Green Credit Program. I'll just come for one slide that this program has recently launched, and there are 2 kinds of market are there, voluntary and compliance, which is going to launch by government very soon. And I think it's done. So Article 6.2, I will take just 1 minute. Article 6.2, we discuss about, these are 13 technology sector I'd like to share with you, which Government of India has announced. And this is going to play a very important role. And global technology players are collaborating with government to government participation first. And then after that, industry to industry collaboration is going to happen. So this is the voluntary carbon market we have discussed. There's a lot of opportunity for generation of revenue and meeting the ESG score. Carbon market cycle is growing very fast. This is the EU ETS report that right now it is around 80 euro in euro price, which is going to be 10 times bigger in 10 years time. So this is a huge opportunity. In case we'll invest in the project right now, we are able to get larger return. Else, if you are going to mitigate our emissions, we have to pay huge cost in coming years in case we'll not do these kind of activity. Like the companies like Shell, Vitol, all those companies are developing projects and generating carbon credit right now and creating a basket so that they can take the business competitiveness in the coming years. Thank you. So thank you so much. So that was I will share the presentation with SEAM team so that they can circulate this. Thank you.
Now, I would like to request to join us on stage to give the presentation Mr. Ramachandran D, Senior Manager, NTPC. He will enlighten us on the topic Green Hydrogen Vehicle to Decarbonization. Everyone, please give a big hand together.
Thank you. Good morning to all. Today here we are to present here one of the main dynamic sector where green hydrogen is going to play one of the key sector in the energy transactions. As when the starting of this conclave, we have started with enlightening the waters in the plant. It itself is starting enhancing the energy in the sector. And the hydrogen part, if you go ahead, hydrogen is not the new one to us. It is from century and centuries we are handling the hydrogens. And why this, particularly the green hydrogens, why it is going to help us in the decarbonization sectors? The hydrogens, what we consume or what we see or what we intake, it is also a hydrogen. It is also the one type of energy what we taking care. However, here in the hydrogen sector, many industries are playing a key role. It starts from the industries like chemical industries. It starts from the biopharmaceuticals. It starts from the petroleum sectors and many industries. We'll go one by one. What are the about the green hydrogens? How it will be going to transitions to the energy sectors. Here I am going to give some of the key components how hydrogen is going to play a major role. First of all, before going to the hydrogens, let us see how the energy is going to play a major role and how the energy is be produced and how the energy is consumed and how the CO2 is being produced from the energies. And from the energy we will be seeing how the hydrogen is going to evaluate. And few of the NTPC projects which we have been executing to demonstrate the hydrogen technology and to enhance the energy transactions. Here we can see here some of the key global energy demand, and actually in India or world we consumes almost 580 million tons of energy in a year, and out of this the crude oil and the natural gas is the highest consumer. And if you see overall here, the 83% of our energy is produced from oil and subsequently from the coal and natural gases. And if you go ahead with the same phases, we will be left out with no oil at the year of 2068, and there will be a crisis in the oil markets. And if you see here, the hydrogens in the day to day, we are increasing by enormous quantity. And earlier when you see in the world, almost 700 megawatt of electrolyzer capacity was installed till now. But the demand is going like anything. It may reach us to 5 to 6 gigawatt of capacity in 2030. And in the slides, you can be able to see that how the energy has been produced and consumed and how much CO2 carbon we are emitting in a year. If you see here, 35,000 tons of million tons of CO2 we are generating in a year, and which need to be decarbonized in these sectors. And these are the potential fossil fuel, which we can eliminate by utilizing the hydrogen or the green hydrogens or the green fuel to eliminate this such a. And you can see there is a parallelly, there is an emission pie chart where you can see there are the different sectors which is contributing to the global emissions and the CO2 component. And why this particularly the hydrogen has started? When it started, if you see, go ahead as this thing, and the hydrogen is not a new as starting itself, I said, but thing is that hydrogen has get the peak focus after the Kyoto protocols as well as the Paris Agreement. Here we are agreed that to decarbonize certain sectors in order to reduce our climate changes. So these are the two sectors which we have. And if you go ahead with the hydrogen economic, it will have the two targets. One is the energy security, and as well as it will produce decarbonizing the sectors. In the energy security, how it is going to enhance our energy security? As you are aware that India is almost importing many fossil fuel based energy consumptions which we are importing, which we are depending on with other countries. If you produce a certain energy component in our own country, which we can have the energy security on these phases. And parallelly, the hydrogen will also be a decarbonizing sectors, which will be eliminating your 2070 target, which India has been projected in COP. And here you can see that India's energy transitions and the sectors where India has taken a key active role. First of all, that is to reduce your vulnerability in the crude oil or crude energy. And second thing is that it will meet your energy Atmanirbhar 2040, which will be address your strategic. Here, instead of going to be a net importer, we will be going to be a net exporter. That's what India plans to have, that energy Atmanirbhar. And here, if you go see that natural gas, we are almost importing almost 26.6 BCM, and the coal we are importing. These are the rough figures which we can have the potentials to eliminate this fossil fuel if you are producing the hydrogen in the sectors. And parallel, you can see the sideway there NTPs, hydrogens which we are taken, NTP has taken the role to reduce in key sectors like you have see green national hydrogen missions, one of the sectors which government is focusing to enhance the hydrogen productions, where they are planning to have 5 million metric tons by 2030. And green port guidelines, which is Harit Sagars, green shipping, green ports, green hydrogen hub. This green hydrogen hub will eliminate your chemical manufacturing through fossil fuels. railway has introduced the hydrogen to heritage sectors to decarbonize the railway sectors. And road and aviation are parallelly working to eliminate their fossil fuel based vehicles and to have the bio or green based fuels. And steel sector is one of the key where they are planning to have the green steels instead of the fossil fuel based produced steels. And particularly if you see here with the Indian ammonia's energy, India is almost importing 24 to 25 million metric tons of ammonia, which will be used for the non-urea based fertilizers, which we can directly eliminate this ammonia imports. And here if you see almost 90% of your ammonia which is produced, that can be converted directly goes to the urea productions. If you produce the hydrogens and converting that hydrogen into ammonia, and if you feeding to the urea productions, you are complete your elimination of this 90% of your domestic produced gas and fossil fuels. And by 2025, we are planning to have 17.5 million metric ton of green ammonia consumption, particularly for the urea industries. This can be completely have a potentials to replace your ammonia. And these are the few value chains where hydrogen can be utilized or where to have the productions. So if a few examples, like you can have it in the refinery sectors, you can have it in the cement industry, you can have it in your chemical industries, and you can directly utilize it as a fuel in your vehicles. And if you convert it into derivatives, you can use it in the aviations, marines, chemical industry, pharmaceuticals, and so on. And coming to this point here, NTPC, as we have been targeting and we have set certain targets to have a green energy. As per our NTPC, we targeted 2030, we should be have a 60 gigawatt of renewable energy. Out of 60 gigawatt, we are planning to have 15 gigawatt, particularly to have a hydrogen productions. And with utilizing these hydrogens, we can have directly decarbonize your power sectors. And few of the NTPC initiatives which we carried out in India, one of the things is that green hydrogen blending with the piped natural gas. It is one of the India's first green hydrogen blending, which we have done in our one of the township in Kawas, where we are blended 5%, and it is successfully commissioned and is running. And with this, we can able to replace with 5 to 20% of the natural gas, which will ultimately decarbonize your sectors. And there is many hope in this, particularly the natural gas replacement with the hydrogen blending, where you can replace your CNG networks, you can replace your industrial gases, and so on. And NTPC is also planned to have green mobility sectors, where we are planned to have set up a green hydrogen mobility stations in Leh Ladakh as well as in the New Delhi. In Leh Ladakh, we have planned to set up fly 5 buses which will be have a decarbonizing there. But particularly why we have chosen this Leh Ladakh and New Delhi is this seems to be a different, because why the thing is that the Leh Ladakh, which is having operating with extreme cold temperature as well as the parameters where there is oxygen in deficiencies there, and where is there high temperatures and thermal shocks are there. If you come to know the operating parameter from the hydrogen which is operating in the Leh, we can able to drive any of the vehicle in India. And in New Delhi, we have planned to fly another same set of buses which will be flying for interstate connectivity. And apart from this direct fuel, we are also planned to have converting the hydrogen into chemicals, where methanol. NTPC is setting up one of the plant in Vindhyachal, NTPC, where we will be producing 10 ton of methanol, which will be utilized for as a fuel as well as for pharmaceutical industries and for different industries. And this project is under commissioning stages, and certain units are already commissioned. And in the microgrid structure, microgrid projects, NTPC is setting up one of the green hydrogen-based microgrid in Uttar Pradesh, where we are planning to produce a 20 kilowatt of electricity in continuous 24 hours basis. Why particularly this project is required in India? This project we have been doing to analyze how this parameter will be helpful for operating, providing a green energy in the islands where there is far-flung area like Himalaya, Ashok, Arunachal Pradesh, those sectors. In these locations, we can able to set up this microgrid, and once this project is successful, it will be scaled up to produce where there is no grid facilities is provided. And few of the green chemical initiatives which NTPC has taken, like hydrogen productions, ammonia, methanol, and different parts. We are doing certain feasibility studies in. Thank you. Just 2 minutes. First. We are doing certain DPR and studies in different part of India, where we'll be producing methanol, green ammonia, and green hydrogen, which will be planned to export as well as to domestically utilize these chemicals. Thank you, sir.
on to the next presentation by Mr. Vivek Agarwal, Chief Operating Officer, Godavari Power and Ispat Limited. He will enlighten us on the topic Artist, Innovative and Concept. Please welcome him on the stage, everyone, with a huge round of applause. Mr. Vivek Agarwal, a metallurgical engineer and MBA in HR, serves as COO at Godavari Power and Ispat Ltd. He boasts 32 plus years of steel industry experience, known for innovation, safety, and environmental stewardship. Awarded Best Metallurgist of the Year 2007 by the Indian Ministry of Steel, a key player in JSPL's growth with international exposure and contributions to green steel initiatives. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Nice introduction, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, Seem, for providing this opportunity to share something new on energy conservation front. Just to share you, recently in April month, we have one energy conservation conference under the guidance of Dr. K.K. Chakravarti sir. There we developed a very new concept, and this concept was immediately taken into consideration by Mr. Jayakumar and Mr. Krishna Kumar to have the same concept presentation at SEAM Award. So because we have limited time, I will not go in detail the less important slide. We all know that we have a very challenging target of making almost 500 million ton steel by 2050. And in recently concluded G20 summit, Modi ji had claimed that we are going to be a developed nation by 2047. So the challenge is double in front of India. On one end, we have to be a 500 million ton country, and at second point, first we have to be a carbon neutral and then net zero. But at the same time, if we increase the capacity of steel making, we are going to make it 37 million ton CO2 from existing 242 million ton. And today we contribute around 12% of CO2 emission. Though it seems we are only making 12% from steel route, but that is the largest from any sector if we see the CO2 emission as compared to global level of 7%, and that is 1.9 CO2. This is mainly, if we see why, because of obsolete technology, retrofitting problem, and substandard quality of raw material which we are using. Now, I'll come to the most important slide. Yeah. Because they have given only 10-minute time, so I want to invest some time more on the main important slide. Recently, we have developed a concept of being artist in any sector. Because if we see, technology will come, and each technology have very high cost. And if we see in steel sector, around 85% of the steel is produced by the private sector. Rest 15% is by government sector, where main SAIL and Visakhapatnam steel plant comes. But in 85%, Tata, JSPL, JSW, and ArcelorMittal, these plants comes. But out of this also, 50% production is done by the secondary steel manufacturer, like who are not directly in through blast furnace route. Like if we see the companies like Sharda Energy, Godavari Power, Vandana, and so many small steel plant. So if any technology comes, then the cost of the technology is going to fall in the shoulder of these companies. And the cost is very, very high. The point is where from this money will come and how they are going to manage the show. Companies like JSW, JSPL had taken big plan, and they have decided to bring hydrogen from Rajasthan and enter in solar plant. But for others, it is very, very challenging. So there is a concept which we have in-house developed, and that is artist. And very easy to remember. We have to be artists. Now, as Madam had shared in the morning, that in bureaucracy also we talk the language of engineers. So engineers are doing something, I'll say, scientific, and they are kind of people which can be called as a karigar, who are technical. But there is a concept which we call it a kalakar, and that is artist. Now, what is this artist? The most important thing is the awareness. I strongly feel that we talk big, but still we are lacking in the awareness of the energy conservation front. We have good safety officers, safety manager. We have good energy managers, environment managers, environment officer. But if we talk about energy, I can confidently say that people who are sitting here, some of them may also not aware that what is the CO2 emission in their plant, about their product, what is the energy conservation in their energy consumption in their plant. So why it happens? Because at times we do not monitor and we do not have that awareness. Even in our house, like in the morning, Ankita was telling that the process will go seamlessly. There is no break to conserve the energy. We do not want any break because we are here to conserve the energy. So such things makes a lot of impact. Even in our house, if we take care, ACs, fans, lights are on, so then 5 to 10% extra energy bill is coming. Same is the case in the industry. If that awareness is across the level, then I'm confident that 5 to 10% energy can be immediately conserved. And as we say, energy conservation is energy generation. Similarly, if we take care of all those things, then this is a most important initiative in the direction of being carbon neutral or reduction of CO2. So that is a very, very important point. And SEAM can play a very important role in increasing that awareness. That's first thing. Second is raw material. Still our mindset is that we have to go for the cheap raw material. सस्ता मेरे को raw material खरीदना है क्योंकि मेरी cost of production कम रहती है. That is the basic problem which I have seen in eastern part of the country, particularly Odisha, West Bengal, even in some part of the Chhattisgarh. They always go for the domestic raw material, domestic coal. कि भैया मेरे को तो सस्ता लेना है, 4,000 रुपये टन का कोयला लेना है क्योंकि मेरी cost of production बढ़ती है. But if we do the cost benefit analysis of using better quality of having less ash and higher FC, vis-a-vis higher ash and less FC, then you will find that it is always beneficial to use high quality of raw material, because number one, your energy consumption goes down, number two, your yield goes up, number three, your production goes up, number four, your shutdown goes down, number five, your cost of production in long run, including your shutdown, also goes down. So we have to see what are the final benefit. We should not go for the short term benefit कि भाई मैंने अपना एक प्रोडक्ट बना लिया, अगर बाकियों की कॉस्ट आ रही है 25,000 तो मेरी 20,000 आती है. But when we go in more detail, we found that that is always more costly to use inferior quality of raw material. And in India, fortunately, government is giving focus, and even in private sector, people are also very concerned, particularly in large scale industry, to use the best quality of raw material. So if similar concept is being adopted by all the people, then there is going to be huge benefit of energy front. Second is technology. As I explained in the morning, technology is very, very costly. अभी हिंदुस्तान में तो कहीं आई नहीं है ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी की जहाँ पर ग्रीन स्टील बने. स्वीडन वालों ने स्टार्ट किया, बट दैट क्वांटिटी इज़ वेरी वेरी लेस. वी कैन नॉट टेक दैट एज ए बेंचमार्क, क्योंकि अपने यहाँ जो प्लांट हैं वो 7 मिलियन टन, 8 मिलियन टन, 9 मिलियन टन, 6 मिलियन टन के हैं. दे आर मेकिंग हार्डली 1 लाख टन. कल्याण स्टील एक प्लांट है विच क्लेम्स दैट वी आर making green steel, but if we see the production, that is only 0.25 million ton, 2.5 लाख टन बनाते हैं साल का. And it's very simple, they take power from solar and scrap को use करते हैं. तो any technology which cannot be used as a commercial level cannot be claimed as a technology. वो छोटा प्लांट लगा दिया, कोई 50,000 टन बना रहा है या 1 लाख टन बना रहा है, that cannot be a benchmark. So we have to be very very clear कि टेक्नोलॉजी जब फुल फ्लैश्ड इवॉल्व होगी उसकी एक कॉस्ट है, and it will take time. Even if we see Modi ji is also aware कि it will take time. That's why he had given a target of 2070, while European country had given 2050, China had given 2060, but Modi ji had given 2070, because he is also understanding it is not at easy. और फिर उनका ये सोचना अगर दुनिया कर लेगी तो हम भी कर लेंगे. तो let us see what others are doing at commercial level. But at the same time, meanwhile there are certain opportunity. जैसे हम लोग pellet plant हैं, we are making pellet, then cooling, then again feeding to the DRI kiln. Similarly, in secondary steel making, people are making DRI, cooling, then again directly feeding to after cool down to induction furnace. Again from induction furnace they are making this billet, they are cooling, then again heating in the reheating furnace and feeding to the rolling mill. तो जो तीन एरिया हैं, बड़े एरिया हैं, how we can convert directly hot pellet to DRI, how we can directly use hot DRI to induction furnace, and how we can directly use hot billet to rolling mill. ये immediately available opportunity है जहाँ पर हम लोगों को काम करने का scope है, where we do not need big money. So this is third thing. Then fourth is artist का है I, innovation. Whatever best technology you have, there are innovation which are to be applied. Without innovation, we cannot expect the best result. Even with the best process, best raw material, there are people who had to be innovative. And innovation plays very, very important role in the performance of our plant. So that is about I. Next is specific consumption. Now, if we see, there are plant in the country, in our steel profile also, there are around 400 DRI plant. But we forget that where we fall. We have to see whether we fall in top 5 or not. So, with the help of JPC or SEMA platform or SEAM, I'll request that there had to be international benchmark or national benchmark so that we can compare कि आज जितने भी प्लांट जिस प्रोफाइल में चल रहे हैं उनके नेशनल बेंचमार्किंग डेटा क्या है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली ये भी एक एरिया है कंसर्न का. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट वेयर आई फॉल, आई डू नॉट नो. If somebody comes from outside, from ministry, they ask, what is your level in your profile of operation? People are not aware. So those data should be there so that at least we can compare what is my position, whether I fall in top 5 or not, top 6 or not. And if I do not fall, I can do something, I can take some action plan to at least compete in the national level. And last is the T, is the top management commitment. Anything is not possible if there is no commitment from the top. ऐसा नहीं है कि दो आदमी रख दिए और बस सब कर लेंगे. It needs from the commitment on the top level. And वो एक बहुत ज़्यादा मिसिंग चीज़ है, because when I interact with the top leaders, they claim that they know everything and they will do everything. ऐसा नहीं होता. When you go to any doctor, you need MD, like for children, you go for pediatrician, for eyes, you go to opthal, for skin, you go to derma, that MD derma. But in this case, every owner feels that we are competent, we can run the plant. So my request is you have to make a culture, you have to commit it from the top, but you must keep the expert people, only then you can achieve the best performance. So this artist concept is very, very good and very, very new and easy to remember. हम लोगों को कलाकार होना है, कारीगर तो हैं ही हम, और जब कलाकार कारीगर मिल जाता है, तो we can achieve the dream of the nation. So this was the new concept and it was very well accepted. So that's why we thought we will present in the SEAM. So thank you very much. Time is short, so I have skipped some of the initial slide just to focus on this slide. Thank you.
Now I would like to request Mr. Rohit Kumar, Mr. Siva Kumar to the stage, requesting session moderation to field selected question from the audience to the panelist. Please everyone give a big hand together and let's welcome on stage Mr. Rohit Kumar and Siva Kumar. Thank you.
So sir, one question from the audience to you is, can you share any case or situation where behavior based or awareness based energy management has, because you have trusted upon the behavioral part of it rather than on the technical part. So do you have any positive examples where the efforts to work on behavior part has given fruit?
It's a very common, in fact, but it is all about practicing the things. We have started to putting AC off and light off at the time when people leave the office. Normally, there is a practice when people comes to the office in the morning 9 and when they go to site. So around 3-4 hours after when they come, it's AC and lights are on. So they are now switching off, and when they come, only then they make it switch on.
So right now, I'd like to share that India is a leader in voluntary carbon market in the world. So we have 30% share in the voluntary carbon market. And by 2030, we are expecting that $250 billion market will be this. And we have 30% share, so we are expecting $75 to $80 billion coming to India in terms of carbon credit development. But if you see the challenge side, that there's we are already doing great. We just do need to keep this momentum up. But if you see the challenge side, we have a large number of, we can say that agri and allied sector, or so aggregation is a challenge. That in case we have a smaller plant, a smaller unit, because carbon credit development needs some cost like registry, audit, issuance, and trading. There are certain expenses there. So aggregation is really important. We need to aggregate those projects. We need to sign NOC with the different player users and create a basket. And all these things need additional fund, additional finance. And that is a challenge, but I think that gradually with the help of digitization of the decarbonization roadmap or digitization technologies has to play a very important role. So that aggregation will also be fulfilled in coming years.
We are now moving on to the next presentation by Mr. Hari Balasubramanian, Business Development Director, JANITZA Electronics, GmbH. He will enlighten us on the topic Energy Monitoring for Efficiency. Passionate in metering, over 30 years witnessed and contributed to the evolution of metering applications in India and Middle East countries, known for customer-centric approach, and has contributed for the success for energy management products in industries and utilities. Believes in energy data to be a leading driver in making the industry more efficient. Actively promotes futuristic solutions in energy management, power quality, and residual current monitoring in industries. Please welcome him over here on the stage, everyone. Please give a huge round of applause.
Very good morning to all. Just before a video went on from our US counterpart that talked about a transparency of energy. And in fact, we also spoke about some behavioral aspects of energy. If it is transparent, naturally there will be a changes. I did a small experiment at my home where I kept a small information monitor at home to tell everyone at home that what is my energy consumption or what is the power consumption at home at any point of time. You know what happened? Every day, my daughter, my child, and my mother, everyone started seeing that and say, oh, we are consuming more. Heater is on. Which load is on at our home? This was a natural phenomenon which happened. If that can happen in home, can it not happen in industries? Please, can it not happen in industries? That's it. So now, with this note, I start with a Kelvin's word. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. One of my professor friend even said, if you can't understand it, you still can't improve it. So measurement, it doesn't stop at measurement. It also start at understanding the data what we have. So that's where the actionable insight, as Mr. Secretary said, comes into picture. JANITZA Electronics is a manufacturer in Germany where we do manufacture energy monitoring products since 1986. The old LED technology until now, the more graphical, colorful, multi-circuit monitoring, power quality meters, and power analysis. We do have a complete set of our battery of our employees working in Germany who take care of R&D, manufacturing and distribution in Germany itself. We have around 400 employees. We do manufacture around 400,000 devices a year. And we are spread around 160 countries, 160 partners with plus 70 plus countries in the market. Our main application level is on power quality, residual current monitoring, and energy management. Wherever energy is consumed or generated, we have our devices prominently in those places supporting the customers on energy transparency. Now coming back to the subject of what products or which kind of device I should use in my network. Should I use the same product all the way from my incomer to the distribution or the main equipments, or I can use differently? The answer is very simple. We don't use the same switchgear all from the incomer to the outgoing and to the load end. We don't use the same protection equipments and relays from the top to the bottom. The same way, we should also choose the right device to monitor from the level 1 to the level 4 or level 5. I have just limited here with level 3, but we need to have different kinds of devices at different levels coming up over there. There are a few new features which can add value to your operations in the whole gamut of energy management. There are a lot of devices. We talk about smart devices. There are a lot of devices which comes up and says, which can help you deliver without going into a PLC or a control system or even a SCADA for that. So it's easily, the devices can give you a fast rate of data, a fast rate of communication, and even do some kind of decision making with the help of some comparator circuits within the devices, so that an actionable data or actionable information can come out from these devices into your system for in your day-to-day operations. Say, for example, a voltage limit monitoring or a overcurrent monitoring can play a vital role, especially where there is manual valves, people controlling the flow of any quantity of liquids, and then they open it, and then it trips. Then the operation department says, no, electricity is a problem there. Then the maintenance department says, no, you are the problem there because you are opening it too much. So these kind of issues, which usually happens normally, can be avoided if these kind of data is correctly presented in the device and also on the external to the system. Then the other part which I can talk about is, everyone wants to have a lot of memory. We have to have enough of data in the device itself so that we can always fetch it out and see the data on your systems. So this is very important with respect to the various features which are getting added into the circuits. Yeah, we also have some kind of a comparator circuit. We also have some kind of PLC kind of programming, a minor PLC kind of programming possible within the device, so that we will be in a position to do it. We give compliance to standards in just like that without using an additional software. So that's another important aspect. IEEE 519 is much talked about in the country now. So the power quality standards are all in a fizz with our data monitoring system. Now, last but not the least, I wanted to explain one of the particular customer, how they have used and got benefited. You might see some graphics now, and you yourself would be in a position to understand it. It's a resort facility with 4 sources of power, utility, solar, and 2 DG sets. They had a very complicated auto changeover done by a PLC controls. They were also exporting power, and they wanted to always ensure that solar, with the help of solar, they were able to make more savings of money rather than energy, because ultimately we need to save money, not the energy, at least in this case. And also wanted to know how much they are exporting into the utility. This is one of the graphics with which we will be in a position to see very clearly. The green indication on the top provides you for the solar generation. The red is the solar export into the utility. And then there is blue lines and black lines in between, wherein you see those generators starting. So whenever there is a disturbance in solar, then naturally their generator comes up over here. So this was a very clear-cut case. Day in and day out, this customer monitors almost all the parameters on this circuit and then try to take decisions appropriately. And in the long run, they were able to find out that even how their generator operates, in case, you can see the blue color lines, which when the generator comes up, there is a blue color line which comes up over there. could also give them a right insight how much of energy they consume in the by the utility from the solar and from the generators. This classification gives them a fair idea and dealing. With all said and done, we don't have to use the same dashboard all through your life of your energy management system. We are most likely, during our operations, everything changes, and we need to ensure that we need to have different kinds of dashboard according to our day-to-day operations, day-to-day people. So this, in an energy management system, what is important is that you need to have different kinds of dashboards for different kinds of users, different kinds of applications, and then we will be in a position to change it. The heat map over here gives how the solar generation is, yeah? So you can see how the solar is generated between 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. on a day-to-day basis over a 30-day period. These kind of, when you have these kind of data for a longer period of time, we have more control on our energy management. So that's what our GridWiz, the software, gives us. And then we have a complete EPMS system, which I can discuss with you. I'm just outside. And just to give others also an equal opportunity, I would like to end my presentation here. Thank you very much. And I'm emphasizing that I'm here outside on the corridor. We can always discuss how we can take you together for a transparent energy management system. Thank you.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving forward on the next presentation by Mr. Shyam Ravindran, Managing Director. Everyone please give a big hand together. Mr. Shyam Ravindran, Managing Director, SONEL India Private Limited. He will enlighten us on the topic electrical testing for safety and efficiency. Mr. Shyam holds a rich 15 plus experience of working in electrical testing and measuring in India and Europe. His educational certification includes Masters in Electrical Power Engineering from WUT Poland and a certified professional thermographer. He has published various technical papers including CIRED in Sweden. Heartiest welcome to you, sir. I was praising you for a long time. You're very handsome, I must say. Everyone, please let's have a big hand together for Shyam, sir. We are happy that you're here with us. Please, over to you.
Good morning. That was a good introduction, I must admit it. Okay, coming to the session, I have 10 minutes loaded. So I want to talk about a new standard in India. We call it as decoding of National Electrical Code 2023, which was launched in this financial year in the month of January. So this is my brief agenda for today. I'm not going to discuss mostly into the product. I wanted to briefly touch what is the international standard that is available, what is the standard that is copied by the Indian Electrical Code, what is a safety regulation that is applied recently in India for electrical safety maintenance, and what are the testing tools that is applicable for the testing. Before I move on, wherever I go, I leave with this question. I start my session also with a similar question. Is our electrical network really safe? Do you think it is all really safe? We have a safe electrical network. I ask this question because we are all a part of lot of WhatsApp groups recently, including the energy managers, energy auditors WhatsApp groups. How many electrical fire accidents, electrical accidents are being shared in the group? And how often do we share such kind of messages even to the electrical fraternity here? And also, what is the news that is prevailing every day in the newspapers? Last week I saw just few kilometers from my home there was a fire accident in textile showroom, and it's a huge talk right now that there is a electrical fire accident. So the question I wanted to start is our electrical network really safe? Why do I ask this question? We talk about electrical, consumption and and conservation, etc. Recently, I attended a electrical conclave for EV vehicle charging stations, where there was ministers from across the country. There were few ministers across the country. And in that conclave, a minister had to admit that we are not able to push forward our goals and responsibilities because fire accidents has pushed our goal a slight back because we are not seeing the adaptability. So I wanted to actually confirm that particular point, because if there is no electrical safety, it is not possible to scale. Whatever is the technology we try to get forward into it, unless and until a safety mechanism is clearly put forward into it, it is impossible for us to scale. I'll give you an example. I fly today from Chennai morning, today to reach here to Delhi. If I had to hear a lot of news in the airline industry, there is a possibility of an accident in an airline industry, we are not going to take a flight. It is as simple as that. We are going to apply into the electrical engineering as well. We have two electrical codes in India, which is IS 732 and IS 3043. Before the National Electrical Code was launched in January 2023, it was recently launched. So all the necessary standards, whatever we are going to apply in today design and today safety measurements, everything is taken from these two particular standards. So there isn't one international standard which is following through for the safety, which is 60364, and two Indian standards, 732 and 3043, are taken as a reference from these two standards. So when we talk about the equipments, or when we talk about the measurements, these are the list of standards which we will have to follow through for implementing a safe electrical practice, which is for low voltage as well as for example, anything less than 1000 volt. This is the particular standard which we are following through, which is also applicable for the photovoltaic installation, electrical EV vehicle charging station, anything less than 1000 volt. These are the list of standards that is applied through. So this is the standard which I wanted to share. For example, in IS 732, these are the 10 testings that is available in India for, I will say, for the past 3 decades. These are the 10 testings that is available. It's starting. So sorry for this interruption. So these are the 10 testings that is actually mandated in IS 732 as well as in NEC 2023. Which leaves us with the question that these are the list of testings that we are following through for our electrical maintenance for our day-to-day activity. Continuity, insulation resistance, protection of SELV, floor and wall impedance, automatic disconnection of supply, additional protection, polarity test, order of phase sequence, functional test, and voltage drop. This is the 10 tests which is actually mandated, I will say, for approximately 30-40 years in totality that we have to do this testings. I can confidently tell we have not done this testings. Testing, for example, testing number D and testing number E was never carried out in India for the past, I will say, ever. Why I state that? Because this testing was actually recently mandated by CEA to conduct this test, which means what we have not followed through the complete regulation of testing for, I will say, all these years in totality. I wanted to make it as a statement because we are all very clear in making a predictive maintenance and a preventive maintenance in our day-to-day activity. But what about the safety maintenance? Because the testing number D and E, which talks about the floor and wall resistance and also the automatic disconnection of supply, it purely talks about the electrical safety, which means the safety maintenance is not a part of our activity. A very simple circuitry diagram. This is a passage of a fault current. We are all very clear about it. This will be the passage of a fault current. And we have a presumption that if earthing is proper, everything is going to be clear. If we have a clear earthing, we don't have any problem with the electrical safety at all, which is not true. We have a design, in any design, we have a protective device, whether it is, let's say, high voltage or a low voltage system, whatever it is, you have some design element of a safety, protective devices. Let's say it is an MCCB or an RCD, you have any kind of a protective devices in your design. So why is a fire accident happening then if there is a protective device which is already installed, if it is performing well, if it is tested well as per that standard? if there is an electrical short circuit or if there is an electrical failure, why is there a fire accident? Which means it's as simple as that those protective devices are neither tested, or we do not know if the protective devices performance has ever been tested for a particular period of time. Now the regulation actually insists us on floor and wall resistance and automatic disconnection of supply. Imagine that if you know that these protective devices are going to trip in the stipulated time as per the design, as per an engineer, I mean, when we make a design, we are very clear. If there is electrical failure, the tripping devices is supposed to protect you. If it is not so, then the design is not proper or the testing is not proper. This is actually the reason why I stated that we have not tested the automatic disconnection of supply in India ever. These are the, I wanted to skip it through because this is just a copy paste from the standard. You can very well find it out from IS 732 as well as NEC 23. These are the list of testings that you will be able to find it. This is called as wall and floor resistance, which ensures, for example, when you touch something, if there is an electrical fault, it helps you to measure what is the floor resistance and what is the wall resistance. The standard says that you will have to do this periodically at least once in a year. And also regarding the RCD protection, which is supposed to be tested as per 61557-6, which is the reason I mentioned the standards in the beginning of my presentation. So why we didn't test it before? If the standard is so clear, why we didn't test it before? The standard first told us limit earth resistance sufficiently low. The recent upgradation in NEC 2023, which told us that earth fault loop impedance shall be maintained sufficiently low. I was also a little bit confused how a small wordings can make the total country not do the testing for the past couple of decades, and we have never tested an electrical protective devices before. The recent CA guideline update, which was very, very recent, in the month of June, there was a recent CA guideline. If we talk about NEC 23 and if we talk about CA guideline, I will say at least in 70 locations they told measure fault loop impedance, not earth resistance, measure fault loop impedance. In CA regulation, it is mentioned that you have to maintain your earth fault loop impedance to a particular value, and it must be maintained for a 2-year period of time. I say this because not only from the testing point of view, but it is the total safety point of view. Last example. Unless and until everything is safe, you can have a Volvo car, still you will have an accident. Unless and until everything in electrical is safe, you can be sure even in this room there can be an electrical accident. Because in one of a seminar recently, when I made a presentation and I went for a testing, we found that the neutral voltage was much more than the exceeding limit, in which the room was completely filled with energy auditors. So this is the state which we are all setting. So how do we measure a fault loop impedance? This is a very simple protective device we have. If you see a B16 as a protective device, for example, equipment which should be able to help you to measure what is a fault loop impedance value. This is, please note, it is a mandatory testing in India that you will have to follow through moving forward. Very simply, if you have a 230 volt, B16 means it is 80 amps. You are supposed to have a resistance value, for example, at 2.041 ohm. But if you look closely into the standard, for example, in B16, if you look into it, they are saying 1.92, which means the standard is much more stringent. It is not asking you to maintain within the stipulated time. It is asking you for maintaining the measurements in 2/3 of the rated mean value. So that is why it is at 1.92. Also, I mentioned about 61557. As energy auditors, I wanted to give you a quick overview into it. If you measure all the electrical maintenance activities, the permissible error is 30%. This is the permissible error. I'm saying from the measurement point of view, you can have a total measurement error of approximately 30%. Why this is important is because when you go for a low range measurements, even when the manufacturer can declare 2% on their data sheet, still you can go for a 30% permissible error. Henceforth, the standards actually plays a very critical role. If you see that there is a 61557 on that particular equipment, maybe you can consider that kind of an equipment for your measurements. I have to quickly give you one more story. This is the equipment, but I want to quickly give you one more suggestions. This is another CA guideline. Since the time is short, I'm skipping all the slides. I wanted to quickly give you this guideline. This is another CA guideline. I highlighted some of the points. This is a summary of my presentation. The first point says the applicant shall maintain a protective, reliable standard. You can download this in the CA website, but I'll give you my quick overview on this. The applicant shall provide a reliable protection. This is for if there is any fault, the protected device is supposed to trip. This is a CA guideline for a grid connected supply, which means what? If there is any kind of an electrical fault, if it is an electrical vehicle charging station, if whatever happens, the first thing is your protected device is supposed to trip. The second, it says that you have to maintain your power quality measurements. Now, why I wanted to show you this slide? When this guideline was released, I have visited across the country for all the EV vehicle charging stations. This is where the beauty of the guideline comes in. I visited all the vehicle manufacturers. They told this is not a standard that is applicable to me. Then I went to the electrical vehicle charging station manufacturers. They told this is a standard that is not applicable to me. Then I went to the utility. I asked them, is this standard applicable to you? No. The distribution companies also says this is not applicable to me. So who is this standard applicable to? It is to the applicant. Whoever connects to the grid. If you open an electrical vehicle charging station tomorrow and if you connect to the grid, every standard is applicable to you. So henceforth, while we are making a measurement, while we are connecting to the grid, whatever we are trying to do, it is only for the final user. All the necessary standards were applied, and henceforth I wanted to give you this as my last slide, that you will have to do for all the measurements and all the regulations is applicable for the user. I have not introduced my company. Can I show you, can I take a moment to show my company lastly? 30 seconds, fine. So we are a manufacturing company present from the year 1994. I'm running the show from 2013 in India. In totality, we skip to the last slide of my presentation. So in totality, this is what we do. We operate in the transmission, distribution, as well as from the industrial segment. We have manufacturing lot of testing devices. Today, I wanted to quickly overview on that NEC 23 as well as a CA guideline related to the safety. And that ends my presentation. Thank you so much for your time.
Next, moving forward, now we are requesting Mr. Guru Prasad Raju, Senior Manager, Yaskawa India Private Limited. He will enlighten us on the topic low harmonic. Everyone, please give a huge round of applause and let's welcome on stage for the presentation Mr. Guru Prasad Raju.
Thank you. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please bear with me for 10 minutes, max 13 minutes. I have prepared my slide accordingly. So thanks for the nice introduction. Today my topic given to me is low harmonic and regenerative solutions. So on the slide you can see, first slide, a brief about our company. Yaskawa is a Japanese company, subsidiary in India, which is a 107-year-old company, started in 1915. This year we are celebrating 108-year-old next month. So we have almost 32 million inverters installed, 25 million servo installed, and almost 540,000 robots installed base across the globe. So everybody were talking about carbon neutrality, net zero. We have to save energy, minimize utilization of energy at home, commercial buildings, industries, etc. So if you see what is the net zero, what are the you mean to say means to achieve net zero. So you can see so many points are there, but today what I'll be covering is on the reducing the energy consumption. So operational energy demand and consumption mainly. So how? So what is happening? But you cannot do that because a lot of urbanizations are happening. If you see the mega trends today, which is provoking energy demand, one is urbanization. So many people are from tier 2, tier 3 city. They are migrating to tier 1 cities for livelihood. So there will be definitely, these are the reports, definitely it is debatable, but these are the reports. So 2.5 billion people roughly will be shifting to urban cities by 2050. And also you are seeing digitization, which is a booming trend today, which is also a next trend which is raising the energy demand. Then third is definitely industrialization. You cannot give free food to all this 2.5 billion. You have to give them job. You have to create employment. So you have to have more industries. And as per the vision of our government of India, to become a developed nation by 2047, definitely all these are required, which is again increasing the energy demand. So everything has a side effect. Okay, this is a good effect for becoming a developed nation. But what is the side effects? What will happen to the resource in next 30 years? So what is the future? So definitely the energy demand will increase by 50%. So 1.5 times it will definitely increase because all of the points. So what we have to do? What is that our aim? We have to reduce the carbon footprint by half. So it is very simple to see on the slide, simple to tell, but it is not that easy. Thanks to team like SEAM who are working on all this, bringing all of us together. I mean, sharing the insights, sharing the technologies, what we have to work on the common goal. So, how we can achieve this? So the main thing is you have to increase the efficiency of your system by 3 times. By this only, definitely you can achieve up to certain level to that. So how Escava as a company, which I am representing, can contribute to this. So we have a complete product basket. You can see, yes, definitely these products are available with many competitors as well. You know, many of them like ABB, Schneider, you saw by my experience as well. But when I talk Escava, they work on the solution for the problem. So I'll be taking through that. So we have robotics for the automation, which will increase the productivity. Then we have drives, you can see on the left-hand side. And then we have servo motors and servo drives. So coming to harmonic distortion and adverse effect on electrical system. Simple, all of you are electrical engineer. I don't want to take too much of time, and harmonics is not a small topic. I required 3 days to talk about this. What is harmonics? What is the solutions for this, and how to implement? So it will be a 3 days session. So I'm just broke down into one single slide. So what is harmonics? Everybody knows this from the engineering background who are there here. So it is a fundamental addition of the fundamental frequency. So you know the grid frequency is 50 Hertz. So whatever the odd harmonics, everybody knows this, odd harmonics are the culprits which add on to become the distortion actual waveform. What you get from the grid is a sine wave, but what is at the supply end to the motor will be this way, which is distorted actual waveform you can see. If some of you don't understand, I'll just explain in a very simple term. In a real life explanation, if you take, just consider your mind and your body. So it has to be in coordination to have a peaceful and happy life. So when negative thoughts come to your mind, it has to be eliminated. Else mind will get spoiled and eventually spoil your body. So your mind is the pure signal, just like your grid. And the body is your equipment. So never allow negative thoughts, that is the harmonics, to affect your device. So if you do, you get anger, your body get temperature rise, you get all sort of side effects. Same way, your lifespan reduce. In the same way, the equipments gets heated and deteriorated in a long run. So why this harmonics matters? Why is this? We are talking about harmonics in this today's forum. So mainly on the IEEE 519 compliance. So many of my co-presenters who already presented, they were talking about all these aspects, IEEE 519 2014. So we have to adhere to this compliance. So conductors get heated if harmonics are generated. So transformer sizing increases and heating also increases. The power factor will reduce. So if power factor reduce, definitely your energy consumption will increase. Your efficiency of the system will decrease. So financial impact is on your utility bill, and also nowadays many states have started imposing fine if your harmonic level are not maintained at the grid level. So what is again a source of harmonics? I don't want to touch too much on this slide. So the major source people today think, everybody knows, the workhorse of the industry, it is the motors. So whatever the energy consumed by the industry, 70% is consumed by the motors. So when we talk about motors, without motors you cannot imagine any industries. So there you require VFDs for the speed regulation, energy saving, and also the process control. So today what people think, drive is the only culprit which is producing the harmonics grid system, which is not true. There are so many other electronic equipment. We were talking about, talk about LED lights, arc furnaces, UPS system, medical equipments. Any electronic equipment, including your LED bulbs at home, generates the harmonics. So what is that VFD draw line current when needed? So this is what is happening. How harmonics are generated, I'm just explaining in the left hand side. Don't look at the right hand side. I know it is definitely catchy. Diode rectifiers, AC voltage converts to DC voltage. AC at DC peak This is what is happening in a VFD. So we have two parts. One is the converter and another is the inverter. At the converter, the AC, which is supply voltage, converts to DC because your IGBT cannot have AC voltage. It should requires DC voltage. So this is what happening. And power factor, why it matters, everybody knows. There is kilowatt kVAR, which is the reactive power. Nowadays, industries are also building on kVAR. So what is IEEE if I want to talk about? These are the points which it's talk about. I don't want to touch upon. The document is available. The point at which you have to measure is what is very important. So you can see on my right hand side, the low voltage side of the service transformer. If it is on the commercial buildings, you have to measure at this point of common coupling. And if it is on the transformer service side, you have to measure on this common coupling. So what are the mitigation techniques? I want to just take it forward and to the summary. So mitigation techniques today available is AC drive without reactor, AC drive with DC reactor, AC drive with AFE. So all these mitigation techniques are available, but the main is AC to AC converter, which is the Yaskawa technology. This is the patented technology where it runs on the cycloconverter model. So there is no DC capacitor inside the drive. It is a AC to AC, pure AC to AC converter. The technology is really beautiful. Many people have embraced today. Everybody are using it. And it has many advantages. One is on this, you can see on the right hand side, it is reduce the wiring by 50%, reduce the size by 70%, reduce weight by 50%, and reduce wasted energy by 100%. So it is simple 3-in, 3-out option available in the market. Today what is available in the market is this option, which is the similar thing, but this is the option available, which has so many components. You can see on my right hand side the picture. So many components will have so many wiring. The panel size will be definitely big. So all the headache will be eliminated just by using one U1000. So this is what all about I want to talk, and the major applications and any industries we can use. So all the applications which is where you require low harmonic and regenerative, definitely you can go for U1000. This is, we are contributing towards net zero and carbon footprint. So thank you, everyone.
Now I would like to request Mr. Hari Balasubramanian and Mr. Shyam Ravindran sir to please come on the stage, and requesting session moderators to field selected questions from the audience to the panelists. Everyone, please let's have a big round of applause for. Thank you.
So my first question to Mr. Hari Balasubramanian is actually. Actually, in your presentation, you have made a graphical representation of the energy data and all. So, looking at it and the current what you call sensation, how AI is going to affect energy management, the way we monitor it, because you are in the monitoring field, so you could guide us better.
As we learn the data, AI should also learn the data. And that's very important. And we are in the very primitive stage of learning the data. And over a period of time, I think this will evolve, where all the industries have to contribute for learning for the AI. Ultimately, this is going to be some kind of a system which is trying to learn from everyone, not only from one location or one site. So as this develops, this will definitely play a vital role. And currently also we have, we can, when we do benchmarking, what we are doing, we are also trying to find out what others are consuming and what better, how we can match up to them in a better, efficient way. That's what we are doing. So, but AI is a very important aspect which will come up in near future, not very long in future, maybe very short. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Actually, due to paucity of time, we are looking question to what is presented. So the question to Mr. Shyam Ravindran is, we are a body of energy professionals, and how do you think energy professionals can help address electrical safety?
I will request, if it is not only energy professionals, everybody should talk about electrical safety. That was a primary suggestion that we wanted to propose. But today, from the business perspective, we recently see all the energy auditors are getting into the safety audit as well. And now this is not an optional activity anymore. This is actually a mandatory testing that we will have to do in compliance with the regulation. So that is the primary take. I will definitely want to argue it is not only for the energy professionals. Everybody should be safe with electrical engineering while we scale. Thank you.
Now, I would like to request to come up on stage Mr. G. Krishna Kumar, General Secretary, SEAM, to present the memento to the panelists. Everyone, please, let's have a big hand together to Mr. G. Krishna Kumar.
Meantime, I have one last question to Mr. Guru Prasad. Do you think it is important to enforce this low harmonic devices and equipments? Whether it's a stage whether we have to go for enforcement of that?
It's a good question. See, today there is no policy or anything as such like enforcing in that, but few states have already taken up this to do the billing on KVR basis. If you're not maintaining the harmonic level at the grid level, as I also already displayed on the screen at the PCC, which point of common coupling they have to use. So today there are so many solutions which I also summarized, but the main thing is on the active filters which they are using at the grid level just to avoid the fines. But that will not be useful today because again the harmonics whatever generated are flowing inside the building, inside the industry, which is again it is disturbing the equipments which is available internally. So better at the equipment level, at the machine level, at the system level, it is better to avoid the harmonics, which will contribute to the net zero, the carbon neutrality, whatever we are talking, make more efficient, and we can save energy. Because I was seeing Mr. Shivkumar was displaying on the screen, where 46% of the CO2 is emitted through energy, production, and 26% through industries. So this is where we have to work upon, and these products which I just showcased will definitely help to overcome that. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, Mr. Hari Balasubramaniam has reminded me that this is only the beginning of a dialogue, not the end of it. We are limiting the questions due to paucity of time. So you are all free to, they are all here for the whole day. You are all free to reach out to any of them for clearing further doubts. Over to...
All right, now I request Mr. G. Krishna Kumar, General Secretary, SEAM, to present the memento to the panelists. Everyone, please, let's have some applause. Let's cherish the moment together. This is all your achievement. Thank you so much, all the gentlemen, for joining us on stage. Alright, now ladies and gentlemen, we are moving forward, and now I would like to request on stage to join for the presentation by Mr. K.K. Chakravarti and Ms. Sanyukta Das Gupta. They enlighten us on the topic greening industries, industrial decarbonization insights from the Ediksha Aspire program. Everyone, please give a big hand together for both of them. Krishna Kumar Chakravarti is an electrical engineer with 41 plus years expertise in energy efficiency program. He's contributed to energy policies and international collaborations, currently working on decarbonization initiatives with EDAM Infrastructure Advisory in partnership with BEE. Please, let's give some applause and welcome on stage. Thank you so much.
First of all, a big thank you to the organizers of SEAM India Energy Conclave for inviting us here and giving us this platform to showcase our work in front of you all. A big thank you to all the ladies and gentlemen present here in the room today. Your presence highlights the importance and seriousness we give to the subject today. So we've had many technologies from India, US, Japan, and Germany being presented here since morning. I'll briefly give an overview of the India-UK bilateral energy program and then let Chakravarti ji talk about the UK technologies. Climate change is an existential challenge for our race and planet. Increasing numbers of extreme weather events around the world show the risks to our livelihood, jobs, and natural environment. So we need to act together if we are to have to averse its worst impacts. At COP26 in Glasgow, we did just that. Almost 200 countries came together to sign the Glasgow Climate Pact, which strengthens our resilience to climate change, to cut the GHG emissions, and to provide finance for the green transition. PM Modi proposed ambitious new targets for 2030 and pledged India would have net zero emissions by 2070. A year later, at COP27, the Government of India published a long-term strategy setting out how India will achieve these targets. In the recently concluded G20, the Delhi Charter emphasized on tripling renewables and voluntary action plan on doubling the global rate of energy efficiency improvement by 2030. The UK must act as well. The British PM at G20 pledged to contribute around $2 billion to the Green Climate Fund. We recently established the Energy Efficiency Task Force to reduce energy demand through promoting energy efficiency across the economy. This task force will work to reduce total British energy demand by 15% from 2021 levels by 2030 across domestic and commercial buildings and industrial processes within UK. The UK and India are working together on green transition and industrial energy efficiency. In the October of 2021, we had launched the UK-India bilateral program, which is called Aspire, which is accelerating smart power and renewable energy in India. It aims to work with India to reach India's 2030 targets and obviously the net zero targets we have. Under this program, we have conducted knowledge exchange opportunities between India and UK on energy efficient technologies for the PAT industries. In the last 1 year, we have organized several workshops on textile, cement, iron and steel, and aluminium sectors, and we plan to expand our horizons in the years to follow for both PAT and non-PAT sectors. Enhancing energy efficiency and decarbonization of Indian industries would play a key role in aiding the country's energy transition to net zero and attain sustainability. The Bureau of Energy Efficiency, in our discussions with them, have time and again stressed on the need for such best practices being shared periodically. I take pride in stating that under Aspire, the iDiksha platform, which is the industrial decarbonization and energy efficiency knowledge sharing platform, has been developed in close collaboration with the Bureau. The iDiksha platform has been sharing best practices in industrial energy efficiency and decarbonization technologies among the energy intensive industries. We produce newsletters quarterly which talk about new and emerging low-carbon technologies and industry best practices. Through the Aspire program, we would try to provide this opportunity for peer-to-peer learning, where we can also leverage on international technologies such as those from UK to facilitate India's journey to net zero and lessen our carbon footprint. Today, we have with us a few UK-based companies who will share their technologies with you all. I hope that the information disseminated through our programs will help industries in reducing their energy and carbon consumption, contributing to India's efforts to achieving its climate goals. I would like to thank you again for inviting us here and giving this platform to showcase our work. And I would request Chakravarti ji, who is a core part of the Aspire team, to give details on iDiksha platform and our future work under Aspire. Thank you so much.
Still I'll go through a few of the slides and also share with you the best practices which we have come across during the implementation of Aspire program. I hope this information will be very useful for the industries who are present here. This is the contents part of it about Aspire program, iDiksha platform, IED knowledge and technology partnership, decarbonization of energy intensive industrial sectors, case examples, and finally concluding the same. So, as you know that Government of United Kingdom is committed to supporting India's energy transition and climate goals, and Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office is supporting the Indian power sector at the central and state level over the last 4 decades, and FCDO UK, Ministry of Power and Ministry of New and Renewable Energy Sources, under a joint bilateral program, they are implementing this Aspire program. KPMG is the implementation advisor to FCDO in relation to the Aspire program, and IDM Infrastructure Advisory Private Limited, from where I come, and Carbon Trust UK are the key consortium members. Basically, if you see that we have under the smart power, we have industrial energy efficiency part, which is being covered under this Aspire program. Objective is to catalyze increased investment across power sector and renewable energy in India, which supports energy security and inclusive economic growth. Second is catalyze increased trade and investment opportunities and mutually beneficial economic relationship between India and international entities. All of us know that the Government of India is committed to reduce emission intensity of its economy by 45% by 2030 over 2005 levels. It was highlighted by few of the speakers as well. And Bureau of Energy Efficiency is implementing Perform, Achieve and Trade scheme. This is a very wonderful scheme, implemented first time in the all over the world, and is being copied by other countries as well as our Energy Conservation Act has been, I think, adopted by 4 or 5 countries in the world. We have Kenya, even our neighbor country Pakistan has also adopted ditto Energy Conservation Act. Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Vietnam have also followed our act. So hopefully they have also incorporated the PAT scheme. We know that what type of problem we faced when we were implementing PAT scheme. So to support PAT scheme structure, we need to create a structure. We need to have energy professionals, and Bureau of Energy Efficiency was geared up for that task. And now we have 20 to 25,000 certified energy professionals in the country through a certification program, which is unique in the country. We learned all these things from international experience. We learned from Japan when we established a certified energy manager and auditor program. So learning from international area, international bodies is very, very important. Energy Conservation Act has a lot of learning from international level. Similarly, learning from UK is also very, very inspiring when we are implementing Aspire program. So we will see to what extent it has been really useful for the country. And on 1st of March 2023, which is the foundation day of Bureau of Energy Efficiency, iDiksha platform was launched by Honorable Cabinet Minister, and under which we have which was attended by 160 plus participants from India and UK. And this platform contains 45 global IAD technologies hosted on iDiksha platform. All our workshops which we conducted during the last 1.5 years are hosted on this platform. You can get access to this platform, and it's a one-stop destination for all the energy efficiency activity and decarbonization activity in Indian industry, as well as technologies which are very, very popular in UK, and also Indian industry is looking for adopting those such technologies. In this Foundation Day, we had 5 UK entities which were presenting, which made presentation. One was Innovative UK, Alchemy, waterless smart tank technology. That water, all of us have ETPs, and the wastewater we have RO. And this is something different from the conventional technologies. And then we have Centrica, which is a remote-based energy monitoring system, which has a IoT4 and also real-time machine-level energy management system, Carbon Clean as well. So these were the experts from such entities who were present and made a presentation during the Foundation Day lecture. Now, getting into the workshops, we conducted aluminum workshop at Aditya Aluminium. See, all these workshops which we conducted during this regenerated knowledge exchange platform called iDiksha platform, this was with the support of industry. So we worked along with the industry. It's not that we were working in isolation. We worked with the industry. So there were more than 100 plus participants for Aditya Aluminium. Latest technologies from abroad as well as from UK were talked of. And one technology which is very, very important to the country is called inert anode technology, which we will see, which has a potential to reduce 16% of the carbon emission in the aluminum sector. Then in the textile, we had the support of Raymond Limited, Chhindwara, Madhya Pradesh, in which 70 plus participants were there. And you can see the photographs. Because there is a shortage of time, I am just skipping the slides. But you will have access to all this information on our iDiksha platform, which is a web-based platform, and also with the SEAM. And cement workshop we did in Udaipur. There were 80 plus participants, and we talked of CCU technology, in which we have supplier from UK, and low energy drying for cement and mineral products. Then with the help of Godavari Power and Ispat, Mr. Vivek Agarwal just spoke about the decarbonation part, through which SEAM got this idea. And we had a workshop at Raipur in which 100 plus participants were there. Also, we did study tours. I mean, participants were taken to the plants wherein industry professionals, industry officials, they explained to the participants. So here you can see pictorially our participants visiting the plants. This is for Aditya Aluminium in Odisha. Then in Raymond, you can see the participant visiting Raymond Chhindwara plant, where they had seen how the waste heat recovery is made through hot liquid coming out from the dyeing process, as well as from the stentor machines. We had Udaipur Cement Works visit as well. They have got 14 megawatt of solar power and also 1 megawatt of floating solar power, which was unique. I mean, the participants really enjoyed that visit under this iDiksha platform. Then Godavari Power and Ispat also, it was a very useful visit to the plant, supported by Mr. Agarwal. Thank you, Mr. Agarwal, for your kind support. We had a policy roundtable as well. Spent pot liner. Please don't disturb me. Otherwise, there is no use. I mean, this is very useful information. I am coming to that. Spent pot liner is a waste coming out from aluminum sector. For the past, since 2016, it was stored. It is a hazardous material, which has a cyanide as well as fluoride. And cyanide and fluoride have a bleaching capabilities. I mean, if you put water on this, cyanide will get into the groundwater. So we did discuss about this in the month of June at BE office, and recommendations were that it should be used directly in the cement plant instead of diverting it to the ferroalloys industry. This was very useful information, very useful recommendation of the industry as partners, both from cement as well as from aluminum sector. I mean, BE is going to have another round table based on the recommendation of this at Jawaharlal Nehru Aluminium Research, Design and Development Center, Nagpur, wherein concrete suggestion will be forwarded to Central Pollution Control Board as well as Ministry of Environment and Forest. It has a potential to reduce 5% of fossil fuel. Please mind it. This waste from one sector can reduce 5% coal in the cement sector. So such a huge potential, as well as it can instead of giving it to recyclers, which may be bypassing to the small and medium scale industry and creating problem for the local community, it should be used directly in the cement plant. That was the recommendation of this policy roundtable. So since there's a pressure from organizers, I am skipping few of the slides. These newsletters, 3 newsletters are there on the website, and this is the major outcomes. There was a second component also which was supported by Carbon Trust UK, and under which we have created a report on key technologies, deployment opportunities, development of toolkit for UK suppliers to get into Indian industry. So we have 4 focus sectors, summary report available on iDiksha platform, deployment of toolkit as well, and technology long list, which we have shared with all the industries, basically designated consumers which are covered under the PAT scheme. So I'm skipping this introductory part of decarbonization. I'm straightway getting into case studies. Waste heat recovery from air compressor. Many of you have gone in for screw air compressors. There's an oil cooler, and this heat is getting rejected through fans, and we are not in a position to use this heat. Nowadays we have heat exchangers which have capabilities to recover this heat, and this heat can be used in heating the feed water or heating the water, which we can use it for the useful purposes. Now, many of the big industrial units have centrifugal compressors. So you can also recover the waste heat from centrifugal air compressors. So technologies are available. Atlas Copco and other industries, other suppliers are in a position to help you in that way also. Presently, from centrifugal air compressors, we are not recovering the waste heat. So this is another source of heat available without much capital cost. The basic problem in my country is the waste heat recovery. I think this is the crux of the problem. If you talk of Japan, talk of other countries, why they are so efficient, it is because they have recovered the waste heat, they have used the waste heat, whereas in our country, low temperature waste heat recovery, medium temperature waste heat recovery is not being captured. So we should focus on this resource. This is an example of one of the automobile unit in which they have captured the waste heat from the oil coolers of screw air compressor. Many of you have screw air compressors. So I think we should focus on this, how to recover the waste heat. Second, stentor machine. Arvind was pioneer in this. They installed sensors to measure the temperature, the cloth which is coming out from stentor, measure the humidity level which is coming from the gases which are the hot gases which are coming out from the stentor machine, and then regulate the speed of the stentors. So they have done this, and Raymond Chindwada was also instrumental in recovering the waste heat from stentor machines. This is Modern Coach Factory Railway, Raebareli. They have the pipe daylight. No artificial light is used during daytime. This is the best example which we have come across, although it's still costly, 10,000 rupees per unit, but still I think in those cases where we have problem of not using translucent sheets, we can go in for this pipe daylight. This is a case of another automobile unit, centrifugal air compressor. We discarded the reciprocating compressor, switched on to screw compressor. 0.21 to 0.19 we came, kilowatt per CFM. Now this is another opportunity. If your air consumption requirement is up to 1200 CFM, now for 700 CFM also, we can go in for centrifugal air compressor, and we can reduce this specific power consumption from 0.16 to 0.12 kilowatt per CFM. Huge scope. Arvind Limited, Ahmedabad, has gone in for centrifugal air compressors, in the textile for the past 3-4 years. But now, other industrial units, this is potential available where we can switch on from screw air compressors to centrifugal air compressor. This is another case example. We have in AHUs as well as air washers, we have belt pulley driven fans. So now the time has come to replace these belt pulley drives with electronically commuted fans. You can call it as a BLDC fan or EC fan. It has a potential to reduce 30% in the power consumption of these fans. So this is another area where we can do that. And if you want to go for further, then Excel fans have made entry, and you can go for those type of fans in AHUs and air washer units and can save about 40% of your electricity demand from these fans, AHU fans. This is a real case example of it, automobile industry. Finally, to conclude, use of fossil fuel result in emission of huge quantity of carbon dioxide causing serious environmental damages. This we all know. So energy efficiency and decarbonization of the industrial sector as supported by ASPIRE program is pivotal to make progress on the international commitments to cut India's total projected carbon emissions. There have been a great success in the UK technologies, adoption of UK technologies. They are in the pipelines, and many industries are in consultation with the alchemy technologies and lat water as well as Centrica. So hopefully within a month or 2 months we will have such technologies getting into Indian industry. So thank you so much, and sorry to organizers, but this was the information which I wanted to share with you. I mean, you wanted to take away something good from this presentation. Please log on to iDiksha platform. This is the website address. It's a one-stop shop for all the energy efficiency and decarbonization technology, and a long list of UK technology suppliers, which you can look into that. And hopefully this will be really useful for all of us. This is an extension of a knowledge exchange platform, which was launched in 2015 with the support of government of UK. And we decided that we should regenerate this knowledge exchange platform into iDiksha platform. So that's the reason now you have iDiksha platform. I have interacted with many industrial units. They want to get access to such type of information, and unfortunately they are not in a position to do so. That's the reason the government of UK came forward and supported this initiative. I hope you will enjoy while visiting this iDiksha platform, web platform, and you will have plenty of knowledge which could be useful for your industrial activity. Thank you so much.
It's time for the next presentation by Mr. Raj Kapoor, founder India Blockchain Alliance. He will enlighten us on the topic blockchain and energy efficiency. Everyone, please give him a huge round of applause, and let's welcome Mr. Raj Kapoor. Mr. Raj Kapoor is a prominent figure in the blockchain and cryptocurrency industry, known for founding India Blockchain Alliance, advising over 50 blockchain companies and educating globally. He is an accomplished speaker, contributor, and developer in emerging technologies. Heartiest welcome to you, sir, on stage. You're looking very handsome, I must say.
Thank you. You called me at lunchtime. Half the crowd has gone out. Seriously good. Anyway.
Yeah, you keep it 8 minutes. I'll save some time. We have a little extra time.
All right, folks. Am I audible, guys? Let's have an extra E in this now. Let's have some real energy, and the energy should be there in the crowd. We've been seeing a little less energy. Why? It's the middle of the week, is it? That's why? Okay, so let's have a big hand of applause for all the previous speakers and the ones coming me and after me. Let's have a show of hands, guys. That's energy production. That's the energy I talk about, guys. All right. We've seen some good speakers. We've seen some good facts, factual events. But what we've really seen are microgrids, small capsules of the larger picture. I am here to talk about the larger picture on blockchain. Blockchain is not the end of everything, but it's just blockchain is one of the technologies which we're using along with AI. And somebody had mentioned about AI, the question was asked. And when I was having a look at the previous presentation, Aspire, we took out 19 points where we can do a lot of work with Aspire in the future if required using blockchain. And blockchain is a free community software. I mean, it doesn't require anything. It just requires knowledge. That's it. I'll come to the real points now. When we talk about energy and we talk about, I'll talk about holistically, right? Macro level. We've talked at the micro level right now so far. Let's take a macro level. Let's talk about something which makes sense to all of us. We talk about COP27. We talk about energy net zero 2070. But folks, that's all going to be there only if we survive till 2070. And frankly speaking, the statistics don't say that. None of us in this room will be there by that time, I guess. But even before that, it's not a shocking statement, it's a fact. And these facts are logged with United Nations, which keeps saying it again and again. We talk about SDGs. Let's talk a little more. And let's become realistic rather than talk about 2070, 2050, 2030. Let's talk today. The energy sector is the largest pollutive industry in the world. Why don't we talk about these things? That's what we should be talking about. It emits 15.83 billion tons of greenhouse gases each year. Are we harnessing them? Not yet, but we are going to do that right now. It started. We started this program in the States, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I've got 6-7 minutes. I'll try and take 5 or 6. Everybody's hungry, I guess. Half the people have gone for lunch. Let the other half also go. Let's go. I'll just explain a little bit about blockchain, just for those who are not very, I'll just go this here. Blockchain is a technology which is going to change a lot of things. It's already changed this industry. In the United States, almost every energy-intensive company is using this technology, along with AI and analytics. 3, of course, IoT as well to capture data. So where is it used? Either the 5 cases, that's it. If your business has anything called shared data, and I'm sure all of us have shared data, multiple participants, oh yes, our supply chains are massive, transaction dependency, yes, absence of trust, and opportunities of disintermediation. These are the 5 things we need. If you have these problems, well, you've got blockchain for you. There is no central point of failure in blockchain, my friends. It is the one single source of truth. Because blockchain has one simple fundamental. It is disintermediated. And second, it is immutable. Data on the blockchain can never be manipulated or changed. Right now, everything can be manipulated or changed. Trust me, I can get into your email in precisely 15 minutes from now. I'm also an ethical hacker. One of the things which I do to test systems. Very scary. That way, I can manipulate all systems anywhere in the world if I have to. I don't want to, but if I have to, somebody challenges me and says this. I have a team of people sitting right now in Israel working on this, simply figuring out what are the loopholes in our data sections. And everywhere it is there. And let's face it. And you know something a lot of us don't know? There is something called the dark web. We've heard of it. But how many of us know all the information which we call confidential is all available there? I go there every day and check it out. And right from government information to private information of Siemens, you talk about anything else, it's all there. So that's where we come in and bring blockchain to the picture. Increased reliability, self-executing, using smart contracts. We talk about smart grids, smart meters, smart energy, but we don't use smart contracts. Why? Because probably we don't know where we can apply them. Well, here's a chance. We're going to try and do that. I'm here today along with SEAM, specifically to try and address problems which are at the macro level. Micro level, well taken care of, I guess. Ownership management, origin of data. Now that's where the AI part comes in. AI We have to train it, yes. But how do we know the accuracy? How do we know who's taught what, when, where, how? That's where blockchain comes in again and gives us an audit trail of the learning of AI. Therefore, our data now becomes relevant for AI. It doesn't become irrelevant. Right now, most of the data, ad hoc. We really don't know the veracity all the time. Well, going further, there have been a lot of industry initiatives. I won't go into that, but there is something which is happening in India. That's a birth child in India. That's the Green Chain Protocol. That's an initiative by us as IBA, India Blockchain Alliance. We've started this Green Chain Protocol, and I'll share with you very quickly what we're doing here, which basically links every one of us into a beautiful green chain to make ourselves greener and a more healthier environment in the energy sector, especially because it's the biggest polluter in the first place. Well, there's a lot of things happening. Let me just give you some quick case studies because time runs out pretty fast. Well, I'll go straight to some very important points here. Yeah. We have a procure to pay program. We have ESG programs. Basically, the green chain links everything to ESG. When Dr. Chakravarti said about we have 25,000 people registered as professional engineers in our country. We don't have it on the blockchain, for example. How do you determine the certification of a person? We can do that. That's a real easy start for it. We also talk about ESG. We talk about building capabilities to store and manage ESG data, leveraging the blockchain unique capabilities. Now, the benefits are decision-making, shared value, fairness, verification globally. Now our data doesn't lie in silos. It is available to all of us at a click of a button. Commodity transport is another one where we are actually doing a lot of work because that's another pollutant to the industry. And the field sensors, the ERP systems, and validating invoicing, everything is put on the blockchain. Now, these are actual projects going on right now as we speak under the Green Chain Protocol. We've also put seismic entitlement, automated tracking of digital rights to seismic data through its life cycle, and we all have that data now. We've also got joint venture management, but in the pipeline, and that's something which we're doing a lot of work in the United States again, and now we are coming here to India as well. Electricity distribution, a complete dashboard, offers a universal green contract for electrical vehicles. I'm doing this with a company called Wow Energy in India itself. And all these resources are receiving a digital entity on the energy web chain, which is part of the Green Chain Protocol. They'll have a trusted account now, so all the EVs, smart mastering, so basically they will know everything right from battery life to basically the charging stations, how much, where, etc., everything. And also they get a certain tokens for it because it's on blockchain, which can be encashed. It's like a loyalty points with other benefits. Oil and gas, crude extraction from shipments, supply chain, authentication, transactions, all these costs are getting slashed. These are some things which you should see. The Green Chain Protocol is doing some 6-7 very good projects, and I think you should really look at these very carefully. These are the ones which are under our umbrella. We've got Sion, IoT device that monitors water data, and similarly, we can do it for any other data for that matter. This is just a single example. What we can do for water, we can do for electricity, for anything else. There's a task force which creates sustainable nature markets, climate solutions, transparent tokenization. We have Tolam Earth, carbon offset marketplaces, timeless, carbon offset, reporting and guarantee of origin situation. This is a very important one, which I would like to really stress on maybe at some other time. We've got Aniseed, carbon biocredits exchange, civic ledger, regulated natural resource marketplace, co-op stage, verifiable ESG reporting practices and platform, and a beautiful toolkit as well, which is not here, but we've just created one ESG toolkit. And we have got Dovu, tokenization of assets for data integrity, Earth 1.1, Envision blockchain, SaaS for the ESG industry, and all these are already there. Why are we not using them? And under Green Chain Protocol, we try to bring all these under one roof so all of us can have this exchange of ideas, APIs, etc. LedgerWorks is called data management. Now, we have all these and a complete energy ESG toolkit. Yeah. I'll wind up, right? Thank you, right? Right, I think even the timer is hungry, so I guess I'm going to let these things go. Actually speaking, just as the 30 seconds which I have left, blockchain is the next game changer, And not alone. Blockchain is not a silver bullet, my friends. It works with AI. It will work with IoT. It is very inclusive. And the more we understand, and that's what we're going to do here now. It seemed, I guess, I was talking to all my friends here, and we said, okay, why don't we bring about more awareness in this space, more certifications on the blockchain, more systems on the blockchain, more APIs, which all of us can use and bring about efficiency, transparency, trust, and traceability. That's blockchain for us. And most important, immutability. Way forward would be, that's what we're doing along with SEAM now, so that's my way forward. And that's the journey for now, my friends. I think the journey for me is just started in India, but for you, it should be also the first step. I can't do this all alone. I need all of us, and I need, as I said in the beginning, I need the energy from all of us to do that, to make it happen. Thank you, my friends. And now you can really go for lunch. Thank you, my friends.
Now for the next presentation, I would like to call on stage Mr. Chandrasekhar NS, former president of ISRE. He will enlighten us on the topic HVAC energy efficiency. Please everyone, let's have a big hand for Mr. Chandrasekhar. The partner, consultant and certified energy auditor at Genix Consultant, Hyderabad, holds an MTech in mechanical engineering from IIT Kanpur and boasts over 40 years of HVAC expertise. With a career spanning multinational companies in Middle East, he specialized in designing HVAC system for various applications including hospitals, clean rooms, malls, hotels and tall buildings. Notably, he has designed operation theaters and HVAC system for F1 racing circuits. So let me just invite sir.
Very good afternoon to those who are present here and those who are not present here. Of course, it must have been a very tiring session from the morning to be here and spend your time on various lectures. I'm sure I understand that. And I always feel an empty stomach is better than a full stomach for hearing any lecture. So I would request those who are here to be patient for some more time. I will not take too much time on that. I've been asked to speak on HVAC energy efficiency, which is the heating, ventilation and air conditioning systems. And generally, whenever we talk of energy, there is a lot of synergy between the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, which is the building services portion of it which comes. And I think all of us are very familiar with air conditioning because that is a comfort condition which we at least look for in any building. Just to understand some statistics, there is a lot of demand that's going to come for the air conditioning, and many countries have not even purchased the first AC. And India, you can see there is a lot of demand in India, South Africa, Indonesia, which is going to come. And together in India, Indonesia and China, if you look at it, by the year 2050, they will account for 2/3 of the world's households air conditioner. That means you can imagine what kind of a demand that is going to be there and what kind of a number of air conditioners that is going to be there. And when we think of air conditioners, every one of us immediately think, what is my electricity bill that's going to be? Because it is something which consumes energy all the time. So we always think air conditioner as an energy guzzler. So that's something which is there in our mind. But then as we go on in this 10 minutes which I've been given, we can see that air conditioner is just not an equipment. It is a system. And when you look at the system, there are various opportunities are there in that system to save energy. In fact, I am thankful to the distinguished faculty from BE who gave good insight on the air conditioning systems also, where we can save energy. There is a lot we can do within that. And so let's see what we can do about that. And why is this increase of the air conditioners which is happening? You all know that there is a lot of movement from the rural areas to the urban areas. because of the economic affordability, economic growth which is happening, especially our own country, we are seeing there's a lot of movement towards that. And we all know that there is increasing demand that is going to be there. And because of this increasing demand, there is going to be a huge energy consumption. And we all know that India is the third largest energy consuming country. And it is also going to see a huge demand in terms of energy. And what is understandably from statistics I can understand is that close to around 270 million population people will be in the urban areas, which means in the next 20 years, which means they are going to be, really looking for air conditioner usage, be it residential, be it commercial. And we all know that after agriculture or next only to agriculture, the real estate is the one which is the high growing sector, and it's going to be $1 trillion economy. Why 10 years in 5 years hence? That's what the statistics show. No doubt about that. That within a matter of 20 years, the energy demand is going to triple. And by the pie charts, you can see that domestic, commercial, and industries, these occupy close to 70% of the energy demand. So that's where we are. That means our energy demand is increasing all the time. And if we think that this energy demand is increasing in every sector, we can see in every sector, out of that, air conditioning is one of the maximum demand requirement from all these sectors, which we can see, which I remember in my early days of 80s when I joined the HVAC industry, we always used to think that one refrigerator per house, we used to think. In the in the early 2000s, we used to think one air conditioner per home. Today, it is not that scenario of one air conditioner per home or one refrigerator per house. It is multi-refrigerators and multiple air conditioners, residents, and there is no commercial organization without air conditioning. So that's the kind of demand that is growing. And what does it do? These kind of air conditioners which is present there, they are more in the urban areas. They are increasing the temperatures which are present in the urban areas because of the urban heat island effect that is going up. Because in air conditioning, the simple principle is that we are removing the heat to cool the homes, and that heat need to be discharged out somewhere. So that's what is happening. So that's happening. But the greatest, even though this is a fact that if we give 100 units of primary fuel, we get only 24 units to the user, which is a fact because of the power plant efficiency and the transmission and distribution losses. That's a fact. But then on the flip side of it, if you look at it, if I save 1 unit at the user side, I can save close to 4.2 units. So that's where the energy efficiency becomes so very crucial, especially in the field of HVAC. So when I look at the factors that can influence the HVAC energy efficiency, one can be renewable energy, which we all know that's a definite factor that will give us a lot of, and which our country is doing a lot. Energy conservation by building applications, where architects, structural engineers, building service engineers, everybody can come together and work on that. Energy conservation by equipment selection is another methodology which you can adopt. The latest technologies which has come are the variable frequency drives, automations and controls, and there are new emerging trends in the systems which we are talking about. These are all can be there. So this is some kind of a percentage of energy, HVAC energy usage in an office building. And within the air conditioning systems, the kind of energy usage in various equipments is available here. So that gives me an opportunity to look at where all I can save energy. When building application goes, I can look at an integrated building where the orientation of the building, air movement, shading of the adjacent building, natural light coming into the building. And today, because of the tools we have in terms of simulation and other things, we can work out the daylighting, ventilation analysis, we can work out the shading analysis, we can create a real picture of what the building is going to be even before it is constructed. That is possible. And to help us, there are always the codes which are available, where we have the ASHRAE 90.1, ECBC, Energy Conservation Building Code, National Building Code. All of this are giving guidelines, what kind of a construction materials, what kind of technologies that can be utilized into that. Basically, on the design conditions, we all know that set point of a thermostat is a very important factor by which you can save energy. But then latest researchers show it is just not the set point for thermal comfort. It is the setting of the air speed. So, for example, a research was done when the fan speed or the air speed which is in the range of 0.7 to 1 meters per second. You can increase the indoor temperature to 2.5 to 3.5 degrees centigrade and still you can maintain the same thermal comfort. So which means there is a potential to increase the indoor temperature, which means you can save energy. So that is available. And when you look at the equipment selection, we have the star air conditioners. Of course, I would prefer more people to go for the highest star air conditioners, and I would urge even manufacturers, which I do from my society, to tell them to go in for the highest star manufacturing equipments, not come from the lowest to the highest. Look at that. And when we look at the estimation of all these energy efficiencies, we have to remember the operational cost occupies 65% of that in a total building life cycle cost, which means we can save a lot of even cost to the user. Today, the chillers are available at the very highest efficiencies. Starting, I came from an era of 2.9 COP or 1.2 kilowatt per TR of air conditioning is the era when I started reciprocating compressors. Today, we have COP7 or 0.5 kilowatt per ton of refrigeration equipments available. And what does this mean? I think the PPT is gone. Okay, it has come. Thanks. So what does this mean? So some few slides are missing in this. I'm not able to get it. Okay, it doesn't matter. What does that mean? It means even if we spend a little more money in terms of the capital cost, we can still recover it during the recurring cost. And just remember the graph I showed you, 65% of the cost in a building life cycle cost is in the operational cost. So that means it is a huge saving. In terms of the motors, already the faculty from BE spoke about the BLDC motors and IE5 motors today we can talk about. So which means we can save a lot of energy in selecting the correct efficiency of the motor. When you look at the air handling unit, we have normally belt-driven air handling units which are used, and today we are shifting to plug fans and the EC fans. And when the belt-driven fans have a huge losses to the term of 9% and 5%, I'm just pointing out 9 and 5 because most of the air conditioning units are in the range of that 1 HP to 10 HP generally from the air quantities which you look at it. Otherwise we go for multiple AHUs only we do. So that is where we can save a lot of energy. So when you look at the total saving that you can do by effectively selecting the equipment selections, from a power of 3.73 kilowatts, we are losing close to 60%, as the input power. So which means if we select the fan efficiency, drive efficiency, motor efficiency correctly, the input power at the source can be reduced much further. So that's a definitely given scenario. In terms of the variable frequency drives, today it is taken over. It is a boon for us. Definitely, we know the fan loss, affinity loss. We know. So because of that, we are able to use these variable frequency drives today in every portion of our air conditioning equipment, be it air handling units, be it compressors, be it cooling tower fans, be it condenser water pumps, be it chilled water pumps. Everywhere we are able to use it. Controls and automations. I don't want to say much. I'm sure Mr. Raj also spoke about that. What kind of a can do anything which cannot be controlled, cannot be monitored. Anything which is not monitored cannot be controlled. So we need to monitor everything to control everything. That is where controls and automation. Again, I came from an era of pneumatic controls, and today we have IoT and AI. That is what is coming over. So that's a definite thing in the HVAC. So these are some of the emerging trends. Just to sum up, I'll just take another 2 more minutes. So thermal energy storage is one of the systems. District cooling plant is another system which is available. I am not expanding on this, but then I can show you some case studies which I have done, which we have done as projects, which has given the results, like 3-stage cooling, which is the first stage being the evaporative cooling, and second stage being the indirect cooling, and the third stage being the chilled water cooling, vice versa in any of the combinations. Adiabatic cooling, wraparound heat pipe coils, earth tunnels, deep sea water cooling, radiant cooling. To summarize, even with these are the systems which I am talking about. Even within the subsystems, we can have air handling units where we have VAV systems, split dehumidification plants, series type desiccant wheel, lower supplier temperature, dedicated outdoor air systems, and even within the air cleaning options, which also, because of the pressure variations they consume, make fan to consume energy, there is possibility of reducing the power consumption there, that this all can be done. Just to give you a case study of a project which was completed by my company, where we could ensure by adopting all these methods which I talked about, it is just not theory, it is a practically it can be done. This is the Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, where at 2001 they had an area of 7.6 lakh square feet. 2005 it went to 9 lakh square feet. The power consumption went from 0.67 kilowatt hour per square feet per month to 0.73. It jumped to 0.72 when the area became 9.7 lakh square feet. It became 11 lakh square feet and 1600 users. That time it went to 0.75. That's the time when they decided that they need to do something, and we were roped in as consultant on that, and we entered into the project. And when we did that, from 2011 onwards, it is a 3 years project which we did, when it could come down when the area became 13 lakh square feet, we could bring it down to ultimately to 0.49 and 0.46 kilowatt hour per square feet per month. So that is the level, and today also it is working, these plants are working. So this can be implemented and really benefits can be seen, and this project was awarded the Energy Project of the Year, the Asian subcontinent by Association of Energy Engineers USA. So that's the kind of thing. The second project is again, one moment, is in Yadagiri Gutta temple, which is there, where I told you the 3-stage cooling has been adopted. 100% fresh air is being pumped into the temple complex of 2,000 people present there, and still we are able to achieve energy efficiency like a normal recirculation air conditioning project. Again, this got the IGBC. So to summarize, investing in more efficient air conditioners, they could cut the future energy demand by half. Definitely it is possible, and that means the efficient cooling scenario compared to the baseline scenario can definitely save a lot of running cost. It is a definite possibility. So to end my presentation, I would say I would quote from the IEA Executive Director Fatih Birol, that what you can see is that he says that growing demand for air conditioners is one of the most critical blind spots in today's energy debate. Setting higher efficiency standards for cooling is one of the easiest steps governments can take to reduce the need for new power plants, cut emissions, and reduce costs at the same time. So I am convinced, I am happy to see that our government, directly from the Prime Minister's office, has taken steps to make sure through BEE, the Energy Conservation Building Code is amended or upgraded to the Energy Conservation and Sustainability Building Code, where ISHRE, IPA, and IGBC are working together with BEE to make sure that Energy Conservation and Sustainability Building Code will come into practice at the earliest. And that means our vision, our Prime Minister's vision, our country's vision of 2070 net emission by 2070, even before 2070, that will be achieved. That's what I expect. And thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you all.
All right, now we are moving forward for the next presentation by Mr. Sridhar. Mr. Sridhar Chidambaram, Principal Consultant at Wise Energy Group, and he will enlighten us on the topic Smart IoT. Everyone, please give him a big round of applause, and let's welcome on stage Sir.
Very good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for your patience. I think it's a very difficult time during the lunch time. First of all, I'd like to thank SEAM for inviting me to give a presentation in front of such a wonderful and energetic audience. So I'm from Infosys. So probably I will take another 10 minutes to explain what I'm coming for. So I think I'll start with the introduction. Then I'm here to talk about the IoT here and how IoT is helping to decarbonize for helping to India. And how IoT helped Infosys to accelerate decarbonization. Then we experimented here, so IoT, something which we adopted in Infosys practice, common practice, and we also using that experience to develop some of the solutions. So here I'm going to talk about that. And also many of you asked about the AI part. So we also brought this AI solutions to in terms of the sustainability solution. So let me start here. So this is my team. I think Infosys, let me ask you, how many of you know Infosys is the large IT company in India? Probably, yeah, it's a little funny questions. But how many of you know Infosys is also a largest real estate company who owns about 52 million square feet, which every space is converted into a smart space. So here, we are from the non-IT department, and so I'm part of the advanced engineering. Advanced engineering, something like it has been coming with the innovations into Infosys projects. So here, advanced engineering is a kind of advisory unit where there is a lot of the subject expert matters who works on the various field on this, and we brought a lot of knowledge in terms of the next cutting edge technology, and these teams focus on the major 8 areas. I'm not going to talk about very detail in here, but this one is with the kind of experience we managed our own campuses, and we are into a kind of disseminating those knowledge into the world. Okay, so here what is the urgent need for the decarbonization? Probably many of our co-presenters explained very well. But here I just want to emphasize here is the decarbonization is something like the global challenge for the present and future generations. And some of the report says that is if this solution is not addressed and the threat of the global temperature go in the range of 2.1 and 3.9 degrees centigrade even. So there is an impact due to that temperature range. There are about 1.2 million people, they called as climate refugees due to the increase of the sea level increase. So this is one of the major issues that people talk about. So that's the main reason the global leaders from the 197 countries, they come together and they met in the Paris, the COP26, and they made that statement like they are going by the carbon neutrality and 2050. That's the kind of goal they set into the world. So here I would like to emphasize here is what is the IoT roles in the kind of decarbonization. So in terms of IoT, the Internet of Things is the connection of device to the internet using embedded software to communicate with one another. So that's widely, the industry-wide, they called as a kind of IoT. So IoT offers the decarbonization by converting any devices into a kind of the smart devices, which is able to collect a lot of data, and it is giving to the user to make it their own decision smartly. That will increase the kind of productions as well as the energy efficiency here. So we are in currently the 4th revolution of the industry that's called as a Industry 4.0, which realize the benefits, increasing the production and efficiency and reduce cost by providing the real-time data feedback. So the Industry 4.0 currently adapted into many industries. Even some people, they're talking about Industry 5.0 too. That's part of the sustainability they're talking about. So here, some of the survey, they talk about like by implementing the IoT, any industry can straight away get like 10% of the benefits from the real-time monitoring. So some of the things now I can show like what is the Industry 4.0 maturity. This is something which Infosys and Akatech University from Germany, we had come out with a kind of maturity model. So here, I'm happy to say that Infosys, we have practiced this energy efficiency, sustainability, everything right from 2008. So we are the first IT company in India to reach carbon neutrality on 2020, almost like 30 years ahead of 2050. So the timeline set by the Paris. So what are the strategy we adapted? Like if I put it into the strategies into 3 buckets, like the first one is the resource efficiency. I think Mr. Chakravarti and Mr. So the co-panels, they have explained really well. So what we have done is the resource efficiency. We have today about 51 million square feet of connected office space. So we are focusing heavily on the LEED Platinum rated and Griha Star rated. So about 26 million square feet we have today. So all the efforts right from 2008 till now. So we are able to reduce about 55% of per capita till now from the baseline of 2008. Also, we have the goal to reduce water also, water and waste. So water, we have about 64% reduction in water usage. So these all, we are able to bring IoT as intervention. And so if you see that, we have a very disparate systems like a HVAC. So we have UPS, we have a data centers and lighting. So there are like different systems. So we connected each and every system today. So if you see that, we have installed about 40,000 connected assets across this, and each delivers about 500K data at every point of time. So we do have our private cloud, and which we take that data, we do a lot of analytics, and we are able to maintain that sustainability within the campus. So once we achieve that resource efficiency, we come to that renewable energy. So today we have our own captive power plant. So 45 megawatt plant, first offsite plant, which is in the Sira, which is in the Bangalore Pune highway. So we have 100-acre land, so we set it up. So totally we have about 60 megawatt of solar PV capacity, and almost like 50% of electricity across India is comes from the renewable power. And again, carbon offsets, especially for the scope 3 emissions, which is not owned or managed by the Infosys assets. What are the emissions like travel and some of the supply chain emissions, which we are taking up through the carbon offset projects. And if you see that, we have about 14 campuses. Most of the campuses are the smart campuses. A lot of use case related to the smart city. We have implemented our own campus. We have everything for mostly employees wanted to enjoy it on this. So here, so once we practiced, we just not saying that okay, something is available. So what we have done is we practice ourselves. We want to set an example in the industry, and for the last 20 years we are practicing this. Based on the experience, what we got is we burnt our finger. We got a lot of failures, and again we learned ourselves, and so from that effect. We started developing our own IoT platforms. So the recent, some of the solutions I have showed here, this one is the Infosys Smart Solution for Water. It is available in the Azure platform. So this is basically a independent solutions that can be used and plugged into any platform. It's built on Azure platform here. So the key feature is, this is like giving the centralized view. So like, today I have this solution to monitor all the 14 locations into one simple screen. And so from this data, like what you previously said, that is once the IoT is in place, it starts pumping out a lot of data. So what we do that is, we not only do that real time monitoring, also we do that kind of water demand forecasting, and also some of the actionable insights for the user. If there is a lot of demand, like dependency on the SMEs, like, so this will be acting as a kind of SMEs where it does that. And second thing is the solar monitoring. I'll take 2 minutes. This is the Infosys solar monitoring system. This is again, so we developed, first we implemented in Infosys campus here. So today all the 60 megawatt solar plant is managed through this. It is available for the client purpose also. So this handshakes with the many hardware. It is for the user. It will show like a very unified form. It doesn't. The user doesn't need to see that this is coming from different make and model. Using this protocol, we are able to. The software is able to connect it, and so once we connect the data, we are able to show like what is a solar loss analysis, and there is a granular level like inverter level performance monitoring, and we also brought AIML based energy generation forecasting, and is a lot of economic analysis on this. Okay, so now the last slide which I want to hear is how that Infosys AI solutions will help in that. So once we talk about the real time, and also there is an importance to shift from the preventive maintenance to the condition monitoring. So that's the reason. So today we have about 64,000 tonnage of refrigerations and air conditioning, and air conditioning is one of our energy intensive area, and chiller is one of the critical systems. So what we brought it is we have brought out the AMI machine learning algorithm to predict the failure. So from AEG, we have a lot of data scientists, and they use a lot of prognostic analysis. And so today the user can able to see at least 10 days before the equipment is going to fail. So this will always help us to keep the uptime. So there is no equipment will fail at the last minute. So there is no breakdown even. So this help us to in a big way to help that. Also we have implemented for the solar. Today solar is free, but the way it is maintained, it's not free. So there is a lot of failure at the solar inverter level. So during the changeover, there is the power generation is stopped. So what we fault is, so we brought the solar inverter and also the data, and again the predictive maintenance we have implemented, and the same solution is available for the client implementation. We have talked a lot of people the client implementation on this. So this is one of the interesting thing, the Infosys solar panel cleaning robo. So what we experienced is there is no regulation for cleaning the robo the solar panels. The people are just come and using, let's take one bucket for a panel. In Hyderabad itself, we have about 6.6 megawatt of solar panel, which is about 36,000 panels. Just imagine the 1,000 panel, if people are using one bucket, it's like a water intensive area, which is almost like not notified many of the things. But what we thought is we brought this solar panel cleaning robo, which has a lot of AML and computer vision analytics, which identifies what is the type of dust, and it use only wherever the spot cleaning. So it is having a combination of hot and wet cleaning systems. We undertake a lot of internships from the foreign students, and also we add our own intelligence on that. So today, Infosys solar panel cleaning robo, along with the platforms, we use this in our own campus, and also we are talking a lot of people to implement this one. So the final conclusion is, IoT will play a very key role in decarbonization, and through better data-driven decision making for the process of policymakers, companies, and other actors. Today, digital enabled built environment not only reduce energy consumptions. Today, the working space is looking at a kind of experiencing. So by giving those facilities, it will also increase the productivity of the employee, not only for the energy. So that is also one thing. And the third point is, we even experienced during the COVID time, the pandemic time, this is the remote monitoring. So people started using a lot of IoT tools. This helped us into reducing for the like the travel emissions. Today we are in the era of work from home. So these kind of IoT solutions, and even the operational side, when there is no people, so we have the building automation system. We run the campus, with a very little, few operators. And finally, the adequate IoT training, trainings and both private and public sectors will be crucial for accelerating the decarbonization program for the nations. So for that note, I would like to end it up here. So I'm happy to answer, probably for the time permits, otherwise I can available for the discussion outside. Thank you so much for the patience of the listening. Thank you.
Next presentation by Mr. Amol Kalsekar, Chief Manager International Copper Association India. Please welcome him with a huge round of applause. He will enlighten us on the topic Electrify Safely with NEC 2023. Amol is a leader in promoting safe and sustainable building practices, advocating for copper use in construction. He collaborates with government bodies, shapes electrical standards, and emphasizes fire safety. His extensive experience includes contributions to national and international electrical regulations and standards. He holds an MBA in Marketing Management and a degree in Economics from the University of Mumbai. Please welcome him with a huge round of applause, all of you. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I know it's a tough time to listen to so many presentations back to back. Also, I request the presenters rather, please do adhere to time so that other presenters who are on the back side, who are sitting in front of you, should not suffer a lot. So, a small message from our side, and let's start with my presentation. I was given a task by Mr. Krishna Kumar to correlate electrical safety with energy efficiency. There was a question asked to Mr. Shyam Ravichandran that how energy auditors contribute or can contribute to electrical safety, as far as we can say both electrical safety and energy efficiencies goes hand in hand. So it's small effort from our side to show some relevance as far as correlating or other complementing electrical safety with energy efficiency is concerned. I'll be talking very specifically from low voltage electrical installations part of it, and all the we can say parameters I'll be talking only from National Electrical Code of India 2023. I was part of that committee and I'm happy that finally that code is out after 4 years. So I'll proceed with my presentation now. To start with our organization, we are not-for-profit organization. We represent the entire copper industry. Our role is to contribute UN sustainability development, and as we all are aware that currently we are talking a lot about sustainability. So we do contribute with different government and non-government stakeholders, work with them together, try to bring a lot of international practices into our specifications to make it more robust as far as sustainability part is concerned. We also do promote a lot of electrical safety practices, reliability, clean energy transition part of it, then circular economy. As talked about, we also do work with a lot of ministries like BIS, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, MNRE, DPIIT, etc. Under our Green and Healthy Building initiative, which I myself are leading, we train more than 10,000 electricians and electrical installers pan-India through our network of, we can say, electrical engineers, wherein we try to contribute at extent where we can to make our India more sustainable, electrical, safe and reliable. So here is my job, where I am trying to correlate electrical safety as well as energy efficiency. So we all are aware of that if we minimize energy losses and if we minimize use of fossil fuels, we can always get result of reduction in copper footprints. There is some mention in NEC about this particular energy efficiency aspects in section 21 of part 1 NEC, which talks about all these relevant aspects. There are some of these important factors also covered in part 1 section 21, which says that energy efficiency aspects, if not considered meticulously or if it is ignored during electrical installation, that too at design and planning stage, then it may result in electrical safety, as well as it will create a major challenge as far as energy losses are concerned. So all these factors, if you see mostly from electrical safety perspective, and if you adhere to that, it will ultimately supports the energy losses what we are facing in current scenario. But all this needs to be addressed at design level and the installation level, electrical installations. Why I'm talking about cables? So most of you must be aware that cable is the major contributor as far as electrical safety challenges are concerned, as well as energy losses are concerned. So when we talk about various factors within cables, there are factors like current capacity, which keeps, there are a lot of variations in that. Then we also talk of derating, which is not at all considered in our country. Though there are a lot of mentions in standards, regulations, as well as most of the codes, but I don't know how many of you are aware of these derating factors, how that needs to be considered when we do the electrical installations. So it is again related somewhere to the, we can say, heat or thermal management of the cables. So no time to talk in details because we have a lot of time restrictions. So just to understand, we can give, we can say more details about this. We can have one-to-one interaction on this particular factor. But this is the major contributor as far as your heat or thermal management of cables are concerned. Then minimizing minimum recommended conductor cross section. Nobody of us follows this in our country, in spite of having good standards and codes. And then we keep on blaming that our wires are failing, our cables are failing, we are facing a lot of energy efficiency problems. But the major and core issue is that we are not following the basic standards or the basic rule of electrical installation, that is proper sizing of cables. And at extent for derating, we need to always ensure that one size higher when it goes into the concealed wiring kind of things. So these are the basics which we miss on, and then we talk about why we are facing a lot of these energy efficiency challenges. And then again, somebody also in earlier slides talked about voltage drop. That is again a major challenge. So we need to ensure again the installation practices at design level itself, so that we will not face these challenges in long run. So again, when it comes to sizing of the cable, these are some of the important factors. I won't take much time because it is very clearly mentioned over here that undersizing of cable creates overloading, which again creates heat. Heat gets converted into voltage drop, energy losses, and then it leads to decarbonizing. So it's very simple matrix. We only need to understand these basics. Then I don't think so. We will. I won't say we will. Address the entire challenge as far as energy efficiency is concerned, but most of these challenges will get addressed there and there itself. So if you see why I'm talking this, because this is already covered in all our IS standards as IS 732, which is specifically meant for building electrical installations, which says that electrical hazards can mainly be classified as electrical shocks and fire installations. So selection of cables, over here it is clearly mentioned, that is very important factor. Even our CA regulation, which is again revised in June 2023, it also says that you'll have to follow Indian standards codes meticulously to ensure electrical safety, reliability, and energy efficiency part of it. So these all are the parameters which always contributes to what we are talking about, how electrical safety again complements to energy efficiency as well as reliability and safety of the people who are using this electricity. So somebody talked about fossil fuels. We can say, how do we minimize that? So it is clearly mentioned in this National Electrical Code of India, in this particular chapter, that excessive reliance on fossil fuels resource to meet the energy requirement of the country is considered unsustainable in long run. So I am not reading full because you can read that on the screen. But NEC at extent has tried to address this issue in, we can say, collaboration or in together with electrical safety part of it, as far as National Electrical Code is concerned. So I won't take much time on this. I'll try to finish my presentation within the time limit because most of you are hungry, waited for a long time. So this renewable solar PV power supply system is also covered very well in National Electrical Code of India Part 8, which talks about solar photovoltaic power supply system. It says that safety and quality standards, talks about safety and quality standards of power system. It also talks about general characteristics. It very specifically mention about requirements and recommendations in cable in respect to cables and earthing part of it, because again we talk about good overall installation systems as far as solar installations are concerned, but we ignore many a times on the small aspects which we talk about: cable sizing, proper selection of cables, earthing part of it. I don't know how many of you are aware that there is a new standard introduced by BIS now, that is on solar DC cables. which we always miss on using as far as this big, large solar projects are concerned. So that is where somewhere we are missing on. Then we will also talk about the new generation, new technologies, that is electric vehicle charging systems. In most of the states now, solar, there are a lot of policies on solar installation systems, as well as electrical vehicles charging infrastructures in the building. And now it is mandated in most of the states that all new buildings should have these charging systems, electric vehicle charging systems in the building. But do we understand the electrical infrastructure required for this charging infrastructure, whether it is, we can say, capable enough to take the load of this extra charging infrastructures what we are talking about? So these are some of the back-end calculations we need to do before going ahead with this new technologies what we are talking about. There are many cases of meter burning in the meter room because in that small meter, some of these EV manufacturers added this load or extra load of EV charging infrastructure, and there was a major mess or failure, we can say. So all these small aspects we need to understand as far as electrical safety is concerned, which again will contribute to energy efficiency part of it. So I think buzzer is on now, so I'll sum up my presentation here. There are other few aspects where we are working together with ESL also, like solar-based cooktop systems in the house, which again will reduce the use of fossil fuels in the households, as well as we are also working with, we can say, Bureau of Energy Efficiency to see how we can implement this ECBC in the online approval systems of the building. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Requesting Mr. Sridhar Chidambaram and Mr. Raj Kapoor, please join us on the stage. Requesting session moderators to field selected questions from the audience to the panelists.
Actually,
on the blockchain and the artificial intelligence that we talk so much about, how much it is connected and how we connect that to energy efficiency.
Yeah, it's a good question. Not just blockchain and AI, I think all technologies are connected. We miss the tree for the woods most of the time. Blockchain talks about data, AI talks about data. AI talks about unaudited data, blockchain audits that data and gives it relevance and authenticity and veracity. That's the connection between these two. And that's also the basis of the project called the Green Chain, bringing technology with verified data. That's the answer.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And moving ahead now, I request Mr. Jai Kumar, President SEAM, to present the memento to the panelists. Please join us over here on the stage, sir. Can we have huge round of applause? I hope all of you are done with the lunch. Come on. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's have a group picture.